Hey, I'm Skies. Imagine you're a lone wandering mercenary with the goal of becoming the strongest, but the world that's been protected by a god is falling apart. That god is falling weak and a great evil is taking over the world, and it's up to you to stop the corruption from spreading. But it doesn't stop there. There's multiple dimensions being affected as well, and you're also being hunted down by a mysterious teleporting cult. Can you save everyone? There's several dimensions, but to keep it all simple, we're focusing on the prison dimension and the overworld. My main goal is to become strong enough to defeat the Night Lich, the first boss in the campaign for us clearing out the corruption and evil in the world. Second, I'm going to beat the entire prison dimension and all bosses. Thirdly, I'm going to become the strongest swordsman in the world. I need to obtain the best great sword and craft the strongest armor. I spawned into our new frozen wasteland of a spawn and was just letting my world load while I looked around. With my luck, there was a villager house to my left and a pillager boat. I didn't want to fight just yet as I'm completely ungeared and no real weapon. So I went into the house, I borrowed their wheat bales that they're totally not saving for this winter and definitely won't make them starve, and crafted more bread. With this mod pack, you can either focus on fighting, exploring, magic, or tech. I want to focus on fighting and exploring as those are my favorite aspects of RPGs. I finished an easy quest by getting more bread and then found the quest line that will be focusing for this movie. Apparently, there's a god we must kill. I mean, say hi to. He lives in a volcano and is the creator of all things and apparently has stopped many battles to prevent the destruction of the realms. Seems important. Over the years, Skellig has become weak, and an enemy known as the Void is going to try and corrupt all realms, turning living creatures it touches into its minions. And apparently, it's already begun. Skellig needs our help to fight off these monsters and to defeat the Void. Our first mission is to defeat a now infected leader, the Night Lich. And, lucky for us, he mainly resides in cold biomes, like our spawn. After reading all of that, I looted the rest of the house, which only had food, and then went to the pillager boat. My thoughts are that it'll have good starting loot for me. I decided to dig through the ship to see if I could reach the pillagers easier as they're all standing still for some reason and keep shooting me. I ended up mining my way through the floor to two of them and noticed that the combat is updated. It's kind of like 1.18 with smooth animations, and this should be a ton of fun. Oh, and I used my shield for once. Night was falling, however, so I went back to the villager inn building and slept in a room. I took out the next pillager and finished off the last pillager at the front of the boat with some jump attacks. I looted the chest at the front and got this kind of bad iron chestplate. It removes some of the health, but I do need the protection, so I put it on. I then ignore the damage I was taking at the center of the ship to finish off this pillager, leaving only the ones at the back, which would prove incredibly difficult to do without dying, until I found out that I can do a lunge attack if I block with my shield and then attack, making very easy and quick work of the remaining pillagers. I then looted all of the chests, which I got some actual good iron leggings, a runic tablet, and some more diamonds. I'm assuming they're not going to be rare in this. I looked inside of the ship, but sadly, all they had was just some fish in the barrels. I left the ship and noticed something falling from the sky and looked up. Possibly a badly spawned in sky village? Good to note that there's going to be things in the sky to explore. My main goal is to find the Night Lich's lair, even though I'm most likely not strong enough to fight him. Off in the distance, I noticed this pillager-looking snow castle, and wow, was this area definitely too high for me. There's pillagers everywhere, and I tried to be sneaky and fight one at a time. That worked for maybe the first enemy. After that, I began to get swarmed. Almost a dozen crossbow pillagers came to stop me from looting their place, and I began to be pushed back. I tried to block and fight strategically, but they were overpowering me quite a bit, and I noticed my hearts were starting to freeze. Of course, you know, with the cold comes frostbite, and I was quickly acquiring that. The more frozen I am, the slower I move and attack, and also deal less damage. I was at a massive disadvantage, and these guys were aware of it, nearly killing me several times, but I kept blocking, trying to get them to hit each other, and kept moving back. At the last moment, I decided it was best to run. I couldn't outswim them, so I began to hop across the ice and try to block more shots while eating to heal, so I wouldn't freeze to death in the water. Once I was near full health, I went for the final swim and made it back to the shores and ran for the villager inn, warming up at the campfire outside and sleeping inside once I was all warmed up. Very clearly, the icy biomes are very tough, and I think we need to head out to find some easier loot and to hopefully become stronger. I headed off in a direction where I saw this bridge, and also left a waypoint here so we can possibly come back in the future. Once I was going to begin heading through the snowy forest, I immediately sunk into some powdered snow. Not a good thing, so I made a wooden pickaxe and slowly broke this tree down. Made some slabs and began to make a safety bridge over the snow so I wouldn't sink and die. Ideally, would have loved to have some leather boots so I wouldn't sink, but there weren't any animals. Until I made it to the plains biome and found some animals. I tried to say hi to the horses, but I have some frozen debuff now because of the powdered snow, and it won't go away until I warm up, which apparently this biome doesn't do. But then I found some cows and said hi to 3 of them and got 6 leather. I then crafted myself leather boots, but yeah, they're not that good. They have slowness on them. We're pretty underprepared, so I chopped down a tree, made a wooden pickaxe, mined up some stone, and, well, you can actually keep crafting weapons until you get some stats you like, which I did until I got this epic sword, rare pick and shovel, and then an epic axe. Really nice stuff. I also tossed the leather boots because I can't handle being this slow. We got progress to make, like making progress towards this stone structure I saw when entering this biome. The building turned out to be a large graveyard. Actually a really nice find. I know of this mod, and I'm aware that the loot inside of these is normally amazing. I mined through a wall into this building because I couldn't find the entrance, and hello beautiful. The pots inside are breakable and contain loot. But night was falling and I quickly went to bed. Don't want to have baddies spawn in. To keep a story short, I just looted this entire day. I dug up the graves, probably a bad no-no thing to do, but they contain loot. I was finding ingots, more golden carrots, which I nearly ended up with an entire stack, new iron armor, so I'm a lot stronger, which a really cool thing. Above my character, you can see my power level. Just a little fun addition to this mod pack. Also, I found out if I'm slightly on a block, my character will balance and try to not tip over. Also, there's a pretty neat third-person camera for this, but it kind of makes it difficult to look inside of buildings like this tent. Anyways, I continued looting and saw the sign saying to turn back. It's dangerous. So I listened. Danger, turn back. Okay. Once I made it to the large graveyard, however, I was looting and got jump scared by this spooky looking dude and kind of freaked out. I swapped my shield with my pickaxe like a silly little goose and panic swung while being stuck in a cobweb. Really fun. Didn't even come close to dying, however, and parkoured my way out of the graveyard. Saw a ghost in the distance and quickly went to sleep, hoping nothing would come for me. But my mama didn't raise a scaredy cat run with your tail between your legs, loser. So I went back to the graveyard and Bucko must have heard a big strong man was in town and ran away before I could catch him again. I looted the rest of the graveyard and found this sick diamond rapier and claymore. One thing I want to do in this mod pack is use the modded weapons, tools, and armor. It's something I never do, and I want to break that curse of me never diving into mod packs. I said hi to a pillager next and headed back to the sign that said, "Danger, run away." I tickled another pillager's toes and found out that you can kind of combo in this, and fell more in love with the combat. I looted the area around here and found this amazing pot underwater. But what isn't amazing is that my inventory is now full. Yucky. I need to make a base soon, so I can continue looting. I checked around this spooky, dangerous building and saw that it's a wither skeleton mill, but for some reason was lacking wither skeletons and a mill. Inside was okay loot. Only thing I really got was the saddle because outside I remember running into a skeleton horse, which I'd absolutely love to have. I looted the mill and went outside and tried to find the skeleton horse, finally spotting it barely on the map. I began to head to him, but I kinda fell into a hole at nighttime and could hear monsters behind me. But don't worry, I wasn't freaking out at all. Oh my god, 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 there's something in here, there's something in here, there's something in here, there's something in here, there's something in here. I then quickly bolted for the skeleton horse and fell asleep on top of the hay bale cart. I tried to tame the skeleton horse, but it wouldn't let me ride it. Couldn't put the saddle on it. Nothing. Except for pick it up and find out that the carry-on mod is in this mod pack. Love that sucker so much. So, if I can't have the skeleton horse, I know there's some horses in this valley right over here. If I hold shift and look at the horses, it's really cool. I can see their speed and jump height compared to the max. But all 3 of these horses were poo-poo, until I saw this horse on top of this hill. And oh wow, an actual pretty fast horse. At least for one that isn't bred to be fast and a high jumper. But while I was trying to tame this one, I saw this baby dragon looking mount thing at the bottom of the hill, and I wanted to check it out. It obviously isn't friendly and most likely not a mount. Probably something I should avoid as I don't know if it can one-shot me. I'm paranoid. So I ran back to the graveyard because I remember seeing somewhere some diamond horse armor. And I really want to keep this horse safe. Which, can you spam the comments with what you think we should name our horse? I'll use it in the next 100 Days movie I record. For this horse, we'll call him Betty. I looked around the large graveyard and surrounding areas, but never found the diamond armor. I thought all hope was lost. Until I didn't lose any hope because I found the diamond horse armor inside of the wither skeleton mill. Now, Betty should be able to withstand some damage, and I rode off into the sunset, trying to find the baby dragon again. The little buddy was sleeping, and I could see that it was indeed a drake. I began the fight, and, well, he's kind of weak, or I'm just freakishly strong. The little booger can't deal damage to me, really. And upon defeating it, it didn't drop anything, so something is telling me that maybe I could have used it as a mount? I really hope I'm wrong there, though. Afterwards, I went through the modded weapons I have and really love the claymore, but I can't use the shield to block with this thing. So, till I get some armor that's actually strong, I think I'll use the rapier, since I can use a shield with it. And by golly, this thing attacks fast. I realized I had a name tag still and decided to chance it. I remember seeing some anvils in the large graveyard and quickly took Betty over there. Spotted the anvil in the center of the graveyard, quickly wrote Betty, and went back to Betty to name Betty Betty. So we don't forget that Betty's name is Betty. Got it? I don't think we need to go super far away for our house, so I traveled into this cherry blossom gorgeous biome. I found this spot near a river and decided to make this the house spot. Now, for the first time ever, I don't really feel like getting into building and making a gorgeous house, or at least not yet. I just need a spot to store my loot and let me get back out to adventuring as fast as possible. I feel like this campaign will take a while to complete, and I would really like to try and finish it all. I chopped down some trees and made this regular square. But since the surrounding area is so pretty, I went around, collected some sand so we can have a 2-block tall glass wall. I went until my stone pickaxe broke on these rocks and my shovel broke on the sand, and I'm going to assume that diamonds aren't actually that rare or valuable. So I made a diamond pickaxe and shovel, and well, apparently my luck in this game ain't that good. Pretty sure it harms me to use these two. I was going to sit around and wait for the glass to cook, and then I decided to not doze off and remembered that I needed to finish chopping down trees to finish off the rest of the house. I finished the wooden planks around the walls and made some slabs for the roof so nothing can spawn on top of the house, but also for a tiny bit more room. I finished the house, and it's a nice little box, and was going to go mine for some coal for torches to light up the inside, but then I decided to just chop down trees and make some charcoal. I think it's faster this way. I also found this random hurt bee while chopping down trees and decided to kidnap him and keep him in my house with Betty. They look like they're having a blast. The charcoal finished in the night and I lit up the house, and it's kind of nice living like this for once. I don't know, it's a nice change of pace to not go over the top. So I was going to head out immediately and explore, but then I remembered about backpacks and how I really don't want to use a bed in case I die. I'd like to respawn at my house. So I looked it up, and backpacks are actually pretty cheap. I made the bedroll, which I believe I don't reset my respawn to this if I sleep in it, and made the other items needed for the backpack. The issue is leather. I headed back to those 3 horses I checked out before getting Betty and said hi to them. I then killed enough things to level up, and oh my goodness, look at this skill tree. Now the real game is starting. There's 6 class choices. The top 3 are for magic users, which I don't personally want to get into, and the bottom 3 are for physical fighting. The archer is fun, and I would normally always go this, but the left class is for tanks, and that was sounding really smart to go. But I decided to go rogue because of the attack speed increase in damage. It sounds crazy fun. Choosing that class, I went and tickled a cow, and I don't think I'm crazy. I think my attack speed actually is slightly faster, but I still needed more leather. So I traveled past the graveyard and over this river while holding Betty and found some cows on this hill, obtaining 4 leather, and then making the backpack. I tested it out and finally figured out how to put it on my back, as I was worried that it wouldn't for some reason, and then figured out how to lay out the bedroll, and right-clicking it didn't seem like it reset my respawn point. So my hunch was correct. I headed out some more and searched for a dungeon or area that would hopefully hold some loot for me, which I ended up finding this village. I saw a waystone in here, and oh boy, are we gonna have fun with this. So in the future, I can just teleport back home whenever I want to, and back out to specific spots. Also, a wandering trader spawned in here, and I now have a lead for Betty. After tickling a zombie, I laid out the bedroll and fell asleep peacefully. Apparently, there's a bee dimension in here, but I don't think I should visit it just yet. Got a feeling it's not the best. Kind of like the loot in this village. I was picking up their lanterns and some torches, but nothing really good came from this village. I did manage to get this axolotl and pelican ring, which apparently isn't a ring. It's actually a floaty that I have to wear instead of a chest plate. So it made me sad because I look so dang cool with both of these on. Also, they make me swim faster, but not worth removing my chest plate for. So I went back to Betty and we left, heading off across this tiny sliver of land and noticed some pillagers on my minimap. For some reason, I deal poison damage now. Really don't know where this effect came from, but I did free 2 villagers, killed the last pillager, and looted this chest with some okay loot. But then, there he was, another Drake. This one was actually friendly, and I was able to pick him up. The only issue, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. I feel like it should be a mount or a friend, but I have no idea how to tame the little sucker. I noticed if I keep picking him up, hearts appear, but that didn't seem to matter. And I didn't see any kind of dragon mount or anything for the Drake in the too many items mod. So maybe Google can help me out. But the sun was setting and I decided to just set up camp next to Betty. I did a Google search and apparently I just need to put a saddle on the Drake and then keep on riding it till it loves me. Could I have worded that better? Yes, but I kept on trying to put the saddle on the Drake and it wouldn't work. I don't know if they grow to be dragons, which I'm positive is false, as drakes and dragons are different creatures, I think, but I just couldn't tame it, which really sucks. I would have loved to have had a Drake instead of a horse, but I went back to Betty with open arms and we rode to the Drake, which I found out Drakes are friendly, they just hate horses. Anyways, I headed back to our world spawn so we can take on the snowy pillager area. Those chillagers might have good loot for me and I might be able to find the night lich nearby. Plus, I think I'm strong enough for them. I fought the chillagers near the villager inn and those were easy, so I was gaining some confidence. That's until I made it to the chillager castle and I lost all confidence. You see, I think there's a spawner in there because there's so many chillagers and they keep coming non-stop. I truly doubt there's a finite amount of them. And their arrows, the more I get hit, the more frostbite I gain. And if my hearts get frozen, I deal little to no damage, move slower, and take damage over time. So I ran back to the villager inn to start crafting some campfires. I think they're going to be required to beat this place. I was just chopping down some wood and cobblestone to make a furnace to turn wooden logs into charcoal when the chillagers came to the inn. This is kind of telling me that I'm making the correct decision for these campfires if they're making an attack on my base to stop me. So I tickled them and was able to level up, but I was locked in. So I kept on chopping down trees in the surrounding area and remembered that this orange 3x3 in the backpack is also a crafting table. By the end of the day, it took quite some time, but I ended up with 21 campfires. Should hopefully be enough, or at least hopefully enough to finish off the chillagers surrounding the castle. I then took Betty and moved her closer to the chillager base in case I need a quick escape in the future. So, fun story. I was making my way in when I noticed this little hole in the ground, and then saw some lava. I started to mine down some stairs, and well, almost fell into the lava. But other than that, really smooth. So now I have lava to use as a weapon, since I know there's going to be so many chillagers in there. I made it to some Ravager pen, no idea why it's locked up, but I don't mind. I was immediately swarmed and started to use the lava, which, funny enough, was actually working super well. I then lit the Ravager on fire, and at the end of it, got another saddle. So now I won't have to choose between Betty or Drake in the future. Next, I got really swarmed and tried to hide out on the porch of this building. I placed lava at the stairs and saw that I was completely surrounded to the point that some chillagers were poking through the door. Nice. I fought my way out while they all kept swimming in lava and managed to get out of there. Then I ran to the building next to this place and went up this snowy tower. I placed lava to go down and kill the chillagers below me, which, don't worry, I know I don't get experience points for killing them like this, but if I do it all honorably, then I'll lose my armor and won't be able to take this place on sadly. Now, I was going to use all the blocks I had in my inventory to bridge over to the castle walls, but of course, one of the chillagers, I'm very proud of him, shot me while I was attempting to bridge. Really stupid on my part, and I fell into the lava. Luckily, I wasn't cold anymore, but I ran around trying to find some water to survive, barely ending up on like 5 hearts. While I was out there, I noticed to the right, it looked like another Chillager castle, or possibly the Night Lich's castle, who knows. But I wasn't done here. I was going to run back in and fight off more of these guys when I fell into the powdered snow trap. I fell down around 5 blocks and immediately got to digging. Once I broke away the powdered snow, I placed on a campfire to help me survive, and then I mined up. And, well, what happened next was kind of comical. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so stupid. So yeah, after that, I mined up and finished off the rest of the guys. And then just went back to Betty to sleep. I rushed to the left this time and went into the same kind of building that I placed lava at yesterday. Nothing inside except for food, and then I just rushed for the castle. There were still so many chillagers, and I don't think I was going to make any progress to ever enter this place. Once inside, I just took the damage and started looting. Honestly, really bad loot. But I did have a fun time placing the lava at the stairs while they all rushed me. Oh, that's so stupid. Once that was done, I headed up the stairs and saw this big, open, dark room in a special-looking chillager. This monster was clearly the boss with 150 health, and he would have been a problem if he didn't sit in my lava for a bit and go down to around 60 health. It did some move that turned my lava into obsidian, so now I can't cheese this place. Luckily, my armor held up, and as minions he spawned in, the fighters couldn't help him. Then the iceologer died. I obtained his ice staff, I made my way up the stairs and finished off the chillager and began to loot. Nothing special except for a sharpness 2 book and some snow armor crafting thingy. I then decided to keep heading up to see if there was anything else, and then I began to get rushed by a lot of chillagers. I placed down a campfire to combat the cold they kept giving me and just kept swinging, leveling up in the process, which I got myself 8% more lethality. I can't wait till I'm like level 20 and I have a lot of these upgrades. Once the area was cleared from the chillagers, I tried out the ice staff and I noticed I can shoot with it. I was going to shoot this chillager in the distance to see what happened, but he despawned, and then my game crashed. Loading back in, straight into war. Apparently, my game saved right before I spent my level up point, and I just got to swinging. I noticed they weren't stopping and kind of wanted to farm this area for some levels. My boots were destroyed, so this would be dangerous. I went down to the lobby and instantly was swarmed by dozens of chillagers. To keep this part short, I spent around 7 minutes on the staircase just non-stop swinging. Campfires going, chillagers coming. Pause. And I leveled up 2 more times. I got 3.5% more damage and then unlocked 8% Omni-Vampirism. I don't know what it does, but my guess is that I have 8% lifesteal now, meaning I heal 8% of the damage I deal. It's nothing for right now, but if I keep leveling this up, that'll be huge. I finally cleared out my way back to the lobby and just ran for it. I was going for Betty to sleep there, and then I saw a 6'4" tall skeleton boss monster. This is when everything went wrong. Almost all of my armor is gone. I think I only had my helmet left. I tried to fight him, but the mini doo-doo head does around 4 hearts of damage. I was in trouble and kind of panicking. I really wanted to get Betty and get out of there, but I was so tunnel visioned on that I didn't think. I really should have just ran away and healed and slept, but I was a fool and I died. My first death of the run, and it was in such an easily preventable way. I really don't know why I decided to be that foolish. I grabbed some food in case I needed it, but the journey was luckily very short. I saw Betty and noticed no enemies, so clearly Betty killed all of the enemies after seeing what they did to me. Love her. And since my backpack is full and inventory is looking a bit too full for me to want to continue traveling, I decided to head back home. I saw this Yeti looking friendly creeper was really strange, only wanted to attack me once I hit it, and then it dropped wool. I saw this capybara, and then the worst thing happened. I was trying to get on my slab bridge to travel safely as one does, but apparently some super deep powdered snow was touching the bridge, so I sank with Betty. I tried to clear us out, but this powdered snow was just too much, and I was slowing down due to the frostbite. And then Betty died. If only she could hold out for like 2 seconds more, I might have been able to save her. But I also barely saved myself. I went down to half a heart and barely placed that campfire in time. We'll only say this once, but this powdered snow update has to be one of the worst additions to Minecraft. No way to combat this powdered snow unless you wear awful leather boots, but nothing to save your mounts, except them freezing with the leather armor. And it's nearly impossible to see the difference between powdered snow and regular snow. Anyways, I collected Betty's stuff and headed home. I got organized and placed on some stuff and just got ready to head back out. Need to find another fast horse, or maybe a drake, if I can figure out how to tame them. So I'm figuring that the drakes need meat. It makes sense. So along the way of heading to the icy place again, I was just farming any mob that would drop meat, like pigs and rabbits and fish. I then found some drakes in the icy area and tried out every single meat. nothing worked. Then about 20 minutes of Google searching, I finally found it. You need cooked chupacabra meat, and apparently the drakes will be super loyal and help you fight to the death. Also, keep them away from livestock. So it makes sense why they always wanted to kill Betty. Which, can we get an RIP Betty in the comments, please? Anyways, chupacabras only spawn at night in remote areas. What does it mean by remote area? No idea. Every area in Minecraft is pretty remote. Night fell and I wasn't finding any in the snowy area. So maybe they only spawn in warm areas? I headed back to the plains biome right next to my house and never found any chupacabras. But I did find this really cool looking zombie with horns. Sadly, didn't drop anything, but I don't know if I should give any more time to trying to tame a drake. I feel like I'm wasting the days away from making progress on the campaign. I looked at my map in the morning and noticed this strange giant structure in the far distance. Possible area for the night lich to live at? Only one way to find out. When I nearly reached our destination, I noticed the opening to a zombie dungeon. Seen these a few times in other mod packs, and I instantly smiled. So, I am very low on gear, like no armor and barely any weapons. We're nearly on day 20 and we're struggling still. So inside of the zombie dungeon, I know there's loot. It's a ton of fighting, so we should be able to level up a decent amount and we should get some nice rare stuff like this experience potion and golden apple. Now, there were dozens of zombies and they were very aggressive in here. Also, a weird amount of baby zombies, but that's besides the point. I cleared out the first room and worked my way down, lighting up as much of the area as I can. Really worried, however, because I didn't bring that many torches, but I can find some in the chest, so we might be able to explore a bit, but definitely not a lot. The best thing I found was this god tier epic gold halberd. It'll definitely break fast, but very excited to use it. I found a safe spot in the dungeon and slept for the night. Now, I understand that the dungeon should have enemies, but once I left this section that I fully explored and went down the staircase to the left, I feel like this is a bit too much, you know? Now, this single wave maybe had like, what, 10 zombies, maybe 20? That wasn't too bad. It's good experience. The issue is when I'm going against 40 zombies like this and the wave never stops. They just keep coming and coming and coming and pause, hold up. So, my diamond rapier broke. This nearly broken iron sword broke, and then the golden halberd broke. So, I saw a wall lead straight into the ocean and left. I ran through the village I looted like 2 days ago and found this gorgeous underwater biome, and then made it to the waypoint. It's just some destroyed looking guardian temple. Not what I need and definitely don't have the gear to explore it. I made a little right turn and went straight, reaching this really sick looking icy maze biome that I really wish was in vanilla. It's just so cool looking. I saw a ship on the map and was heading over, but nope, it's just a pillager ship and I'm really not in a position to fight really. Plus, I don't think they really have good loot. I kept hearing this daunting, loud, long noise and decided to head for it. Maybe it's something I need. Then I noticed I was pretty near it. I looked down into the ice and why, hello there, angler fishy. He seemed really lonely and desperate for a hug. I kept giving him hugs and head pats, and then he gifted me some fins. On a serious note, I actually really love this creature. He looks super cool and adds some danger to the waters. Plus, I love that ominous sound he lets off. After that event, I went towards this wooden structure that I saw in the distance. It's a pillager tower, but it might hold some goodies. I looted this little campfire area at the bottom of it and found some more items in the ice. Absolutely love this mod too. Everything about it is just so cool. I couldn't find the entrance to this tower at all, so I just water bucketed to the top of the tower and got to work. I did a sick jump to the ladders that Tom Cruise could only dream of. In the top room of this place, lots of chests, which mainly held ores and some food that I didn't take. Then mined my way through a wall and bonked some more pillagers on the head. I was actually laughing while doing this. Once they were removed, I made it so no one could chase me up here. Looked at the chest and got some healing boots that I'm really happy with, and then decided to head to sleep before exploring more of the building. Just so this part isn't super long, I didn't really find anything else in the building. I don't know if I'm just exploring all of the bad buildings and dungeons, but after 20 days of playing, I feel like I'm still on day 1. We're struggling to get any kind of gear and weapons. The enemies take so many hits that by the time I kill them all, we don't find anything worth it in the building. I ran away from the building once I was done looting it and found this cool looking ship stuck in the ice. Maybe good loot in here? I did a quick run around and grabbed everything I could. I was just going for speed in case enemies were close to me. I just wanted to loot without any conflict. Once I grabbed everything I wanted, I climbed up the mast and went through the loot. And again, nothing worthwhile in here. So I just tossed a lot of stuff and went to sleep. I left the ship and just kept on running. At this point, I don't think the Night Lich spawns in the snowy biomes. Maybe the campaign is lying to me, because I've only been exploring snowy areas. There are other quests in this mod pack, and just so we can have some fun and complete something, I think I'm gonna put the Voids expansion on pause. Maybe the other quests will help me get gear and become more powerful. I did find another pillager tower thing, and struggling my life off trying to swim up. No idea why it's so difficult in this mod pack, but the crossbow pillagers were definitely not helping. I made it to the top room and just looted that area, seeing if there was anything good. After that, I continued to run east and found this one random icy spike part and saw a Dead Sea Scroll. It said to right click it, and I got this scary sound effect when I did, and then I was randomly flying up and slamming down into the ground. I'm assuming it was supposed to kill me, but luckily there was water. At this point in our journey, I'm just trying to find a village so I can get a waystone and teleport back home. It's about 2,000 blocks behind me, and I'd really rather not run it all. Almost left my backpack behind in the morning. Little oopsie poopsie to start off the day. And then I noticed on the map a little red dot. I ran in its direction so more of it could spawn on the map and decided, why the heck not? I went over, and before I climbed up this really cool mountain, I went through this sunken ship and didn't really find much. I believe it was mainly just some wheat for bread, ores, and this paladin chestplate. After that, I went to this stuck-in-the-wall prismarine building thing and just looted everything before I could read it. I heard a drown coming in. It was scaring me. After that, I water bucketed up the mountain, found some lava, and basically threw everything I found from the prismarine building thing. It was really bad weapons, but I did keep this book. I also got jump scared by this fire rock thing. Always gets me. Very close attention to the ground. Jesus Christ, you son of a bitch. Afterwards, I was just running around and sightseeing this place. It was so weird for me to see some grass again and trees. Then I saw this little brown box thing on the map. Possible good location? I booped 2 fuzzy creepers. Boop. I made it to the brown box on the map, and it turned out to be a villager inn. Before running down, I saw this dark tower, so definitely going there in the morning, and then explored the villager inn. I don't think I looted anything, but I did see this gooner making some magic with the candles on the table. Was, educational? Dude, just get off the candle. Or just go backwards. Backwards, stop humping the candle. Stop humping the candle, stop humping the candle. Stop being a gooner, there you go. I said goodbye to the gooners in the morning and headed off to the dark tower. Along the way, I was paying attention to the snow and then made it to the tower. It was weirdly empty on the first 2 floors. Nothing special at all, and then at the top, there was a leech spawner. Tickled those little boogers and then broke that. Out of this entire tower, nothing, so I just left. I saw this weirdly smooth part on the map and headed over there. Then put down my water bucket and rode that wave to the bottom of what appears to be a meteor crash site. I dug into it and there was some mysterious box containing some machine parts, I think. Not sure if any of this is valuable, but I'll hold on to it. I'm kind of done with the entire icy area of the world so far. Really big bummer that I never found the Night Lich, but I did find this nice grassy area. I saw this pretty cool destroyed tower landmark and looted the bottom area. Thinking it's all a trap, but no, it was actually just a really kind area for me to loot and get stronger from. I got this diamond glaive and some really nice boots, so we're slowly coming back. I then began to climb my way up to the tower and parkour the entire thing. I actually didn't cheat at all and use a water bucket, so I'm proud of myself for that. Then, near the top, I kept hearing these very strange whispers. Oh my god, I'm hearing all the voices. Oh god, don't listen to the voice. No, oh god, the voices, they're saying subscribe for some reason. I don't know why, you know, these creatures in game are saying that. Oh god, everyone should listen to it. I then parkoured my way up, didn't mess up any easy jump whatsoever. Like, it was just so easy, and I really proved my skills here by not messing up even once. It was honestly really impressive and should be written down in our history books. And then I found the spot where the whispers begging you all to subscribe was coming from. This top half of a skeleton. Apparently, it becomes a staff if I find the lower half. Might be a really fun thing to do. Maybe another destroyed tower holds the lower half. I got back to running and found this sign that said a village was 2,000 blocks away. Crazy far distance, really didn't want to run it, even though it's probably the closest village to me. I then found this weird square gray spot on the map, and it turned out to be a ruined village. I explored the entire place and found some chests with basic loot, but I was trying to see if there was a waystone in here. Sadly, no. Whatever happened to this village, they took it. I then found another sign that I thought was pointing towards a village too, 700 blocks away. I headed over, and at one point I thought it didn't spawn in. That's until it did spawn in. The beer in this circus tent area was censored or for ghost. Take your pick on it. But sadly, no waystone or anything of use here either. Honestly, Tiffany, really bad call telling me to go here. I left the area and kept running until I noticed this dark spot on the map appear. I ran over and big no-no. There's 2 jungle temples near here, but I'm completely full on inventory space. Also, this has to be a woodland mansion, super duper omega mega mansion, which I'm completely okay on not doing. We'll leave a waypoint here for the future, but I'm definitely not geared up for it, and I need to make a larger backpack or have more. This space ain't working for me, feller. I swam across the river and water bucketed my way up the mountain to this jungle pyramid staircase thingy that you'd think the Aztecs built. Really cool. The next cool thing is that I noticed this little tiny dark spot on the map and wondered if it could be a village. Then I saw that there were villagers and an iron golem over there. I immediately ran, bolted for the area, saw this sign that said a village was 1,200 blocks that direction and laughed. No dummy. There's a village right in front of me, and boom, baby, there was a village. I was saved. Maybe this place has a waystone, is what I would have said if 90% of this gorgeous village wasn't destroyed by a meteor. But I did find this emerald to put into my Where's my backpack? Oh my god, no, oh my, I forgot my backpack. Where's my backpack? Okay, maybe I left it at the pyramid. Maybe I slept there. I don't remember where I slept. No, wasn't at the pyramid. Didn't I sleep on some riverbed area? Maybe? Well, I'm looking back where I swam across the river and, oh hey, bed. There's my backpack. Luckily swam at the speed of sound and got to it and, whew, didn't lose my backpack. Spat at that lying 1,200 block sign, and looked around the rest of the village. Really, sadly, no waystone. At this point, I'm just feeling bad because I'm wasting days trying to get back home when I could have been back at home already, but I'm too stubborn to run back home. So instead, I ran to this random person's home. No one was inside at all. Really weirded me out. I kept thinking I would get jumped, but I never did. I looked around the entire house and nothing too special, but this was a cool place to fall asleep at least. I hopped out of the Airbnb. Don't worry, I didn't clean up or leave the place looking nice. And then I saw them. Horses. I completely forgot that I was carrying a saddle and armor for a new horse. I looked around the horses near me, and one stood out. This bad boy right here, 11 speed. A bullet, a unit, and some might even say a speed demon. It took me nearly a minute, no, I'm not joking, to tame this dude. Again, I'm not sure what to name him. Leave your suggestions in the comments. I think I'll just name this horse Betty for right now though. And then came the super duper long journey. I found another meteor crash site and dug inside to get some basic ingots and then continued on. I saw a sign along our run saying that there's a village 4,000 blocks to my right. So I went left because that's insane and saw a village really close to me. So thank goodness I didn't listen to that silly sign. And hopefully, in our luck, this village has the waystone because my house is now nearly 6,000 blocks away. I also saw these really fat neck giraffes and then ran into some of the fastest lionesses I've ever seen in my life. Betty also has diamond kneecaps because this fall was insane and I booped the lionesses down into the pit. Betty's skills didn't stop there. She can also jump and made it out safely. I made it to the village and then looted a bit of the houses and then just went to sleep. The thunder was crazy loud. So I was actually looking for the waystone, but I was looting a ton around the village. Finding food and emeralds, really. Then, when I was climbing up and walked to this farm, apparently a zombie raid or group spawned in, and something about a zombie horse? I looked around and saw it, a single zombie horse, which I picked up and put into this little pen area. Would love to take it back home. but probably not possible. I then looted some more and got this necklace that lets me move freely in water. I figured it meant like creative mode flying. That was until I jumped into the fountain and owie, I was wrong. Apparently, it means that water has no effect on me, and I can walk around like it's dry land. Not sure why you'd want this, maybe for underwater cave mining, but I did manage to find 2 more of those zombie horse raiding parties. First one was easy, but the second one broke my hammer or stole it? I wasn't looking at the durability on it, so I don't know what happened, but this little iron safe sure is sick. At this point, I'm wasting so many days and villages are far and hard to find. And when I do find them, they don't have a waystone because of a meteor. It might be time to just run home. Might be quicker this way, even though exploring is a ton of fun. I just need more room to loot. But then I remembered the mod. Too many items is in this. I can search up the waystone and oh my goodness, it's this cheap? The only worrying part is that ender pearl, but I can just wait till nighttime and maybe an enderman will spawn in. Issue: I had obsidian from the previous meteor that I dug into and forgot to drop the obsidian, but I carried it here and put it into a random chest. So I went to the meteor here thinking it'd have obsidian. I'm silly for thinking that. It's just blocks of coal, which I decided to collect so then I'd never need to go mining for coal or chopping for charcoal. I think it was smart to do this. Once I got a stack of that, I went back to all of the houses and found it. There's the obsidian. Next, I need 6 stone. So I mined their floor and then accidentally used a coal block instead of 1 coal to smelt that 6 cobblestone. I have 64 emeralds in my backpack from looting so much, so all that I need now is 2 flint and an ender pearl. I went and got the 2 flint from here and then went to a house. Had to take off the water necklace thingy and put on my invisibility scarf. And then got on top of this roof to watch the sunset. And then it was finally nighttime. Okay. I need to find an enderman now. Shouldn't be too hard. And it actually wasn't. I saw on the minimap that there was an enderman and bolted for him. A group of creepers jumped out at me, ran past him, hit the enderman, and it was on. His buddy, the skeleton, tried to save him, but I quickly dealt with him. Then the enderman kept teleporting and running at me while I bravely, courageously, and manly hid under this 2-block tall tree opening and killed him. And there it was. The enderman's ball sack, just waiting for me to grasp it. I ran back to the house I was storing all the items for the waystone in and crafted it. I placed it on top of this boulder because that's a nice boulder and renamed it to the Zombie Horse Village. Well, Ville, and then went to sleep. I teleported home in the morning and oh my goodness, what a fresh air breath. We're finally back to safety and I can finally empty out my inventory and backpack. Still would love to figure out how to make more space in this backpack, but once I got organized, I looked through the quest. Because we clearly need to do something other than finding the Night Lich. I went to the basic quest line and I clicked 1 quest and boom! I finished like 5 immediately. I guess I'm an overachiever. Nothing too special from these, just read in. It was all basic info. I did manage to get an empty backpack upgrade, which I don't know how to use. Shocker. And I got this chest upgrade, which I need to use to complete this quest. For that, I need copper. The only ingot that I didn't collect while out. So I ran around looking at all the nice boulders around my house, and right at the end, when night was falling, I found some and got 25 raw copper ore. Went back home and began to smelt it. More looking through quests today. It was honestly just a lot of reading and clicking. Nothing too special other than finding out that there's a prison dimension. And I kind of really want to get to it. I don't know how, other than apparently you need to be carrying a diamond? So I'll just leave this in my inventory till we hopefully find the gate for the prison, but yeah. Now comes weaponry. So there's a mod in here called Simply Swords, and the weapons look really dope. I don't want to use vanilla weapons anymore. I want to use special weapons and armors and stuff in every mod pack I play. But I need to find unique weapons from the Simply Swords mod pack, which according to the questline I found, but I threw it away. I'm so smart and cool. So we do actually need to go out and explore, but definitely go into dungeons or the prison dimension. Either one maybe. But before we go exploring, I want a bigger backpack because this little tiny thing is really pathetic. It barely holds anything. I was foolish and made the gold upgrade thinking I could just upgrade my backpack straight to that. No. Obviously, you need to make the iron backpack upgrade first and then go to the gold upgrade. Duh, you silly goose. Obviously, you can't upgrade them out of order and just jump to the highest tier. Oh, and you need leather for each backpack upgrade. So now, I need to find some cows. I made some sakura fences and built this little cow pen. I remember seeing some cows on the opposite side of my mountain, and I began running there when I saw this random gravestone. Dug it up, and it had a nice helmet in there for me. After that, I ran around the mountain and found a group of cows. I picked up the orange gradient cow because it looks cool, and we only want cool things in this movie, and dropped it off in the pen. Then I ran back and I picked up this blonde, shaggy looking cow. Also keeping this one because it looks cool. With both of the cows locked in, I need a farm for some wheat to breed them. So I crafted and collected everything and just built the farm in the river outside of my house. No way it should ever become thirsty. And then everything became insane. Oh boy, today. So in the morning, I was sprinting around breaking grass to get some wheat seeds for the farm. And then boom, a chupacabra appears in front of me at my house. So I said hi to it and no meat, okay? But at least I know it spawns in at night in front of my house now. Then I went back to collecting wheat seeds and then boom again? A super random prison portal pops up? Like, what? I swear on your mom's life that this wasn't here before? I write down these notes and my ideas and plans while I'm recording. So I wrote down that I wanted to go to the prison dimension and then boom, the freaking prison door appears in front of me? Who gave me the death note? But I guess we'll call it the content note? So I started freaking out. I didn't know if the portal would despawn or teleport away, so I ran back to the farm, planted everything, made bone meal and rushed some wheat, fed the cows so a baby appeared. Then I rushed to the top of the mountain, saw this weird giant gecko thing, gave it a kiss, and continued on to the mountain. Found the cows and tickled their toes, got something called the everlasting beef. It seems it doesn't disappear once you consume it, but there's no way that this is infinite beef. That'd be so unbelievably overpowered and rare, right? Anyways, I ran back home after that. I made the iron backpack upgrade, put on the iron and then gold upgrade to my backpack, now having 2 rows of extra space in there. Then I put my tools and weapon in the backpack, but I'm so confused how that works because if I hit a stone block, my diamond pick didn't come out and break it for me. No idea how it works. Please tell me how in the comments. Thank you. Then a chupacabra spawns in at the same spot as the previous one. Super cool. But if it hits you once, it fully heals. Fine. You want to cheat? Then so will I. So I go into the water and start hitting the dude and I kill it. Boom. It drops its meat. So I'm holding its meat in my hand, right? Pause. I tried to cook it in my smoker, furnace, and blast furnace. No luck on anything. Dope. I have no idea how to cook it, but I don't want to try it on a drake yet because I don't know if it'll be tamed after 1 meat or more. I was heading to the prison portal, but then noticed there's a random villager near my house. So I went across the river and found Earl. I can't pick him up, so I guess he's just gonna vibe over here, and then went to the portal. I tried to collect the rotting body because I think it'd be cool if I could place it outside the front door for company, or maybe have him watch the cows. I think it'd be funny. But once I mined him, he turned into rotten flesh. Kinda broke my heart. But then I went through the door. First thing, this place looks sick. Like, actually a fan of how this looks. The custom blocks and items in here, super dope, but it's super repetitive. So while I'm in here, we'll make it kind of quick notes and fast. You can get a lot of ore and some custom weapons in here. Haven't found armor, but I'm really hoping that I can get some. If not, I'll just make diamond gear and hope to jeb that it's actually good. The enemies are easy. I've only noticed a leaping zombie, an archer guy, a shield dude, and a boom boom bomb thrower. All of them super easy to handle. I love it. If I shift and mine a chest, it destroys everything inside, so it's easy to get rid of trash. Also, I'm gonna have a lot of chests at the end of this, so I don't get lost and track backwards accidentally when I finish a room. For right now, I'm using a torch to mark it off. Might use chest or something else in the future. Also, you can sleep in here with the backpack, so we're all good to zoom. Today, I found out some rooms can lead upwards from this really cool chain and hold some cool loot. I keep finding diamond weapons, so I'm not worried whatsoever about weapons. I leveled up down here and unlocked 3.5% more damage, nearly to the melee final skill that I want. I can't use spells, but that doesn't matter to me. When I unlock it, I'll deal 10 extra damage. Absolutely massive. Then I found this one room that led down. Honestly, was a bit worried coming down here. Didn't know if there'd be hard enemies or traps or a boss. But no, it was just another nice chill floor to explore. I kept finding a lot of ingots and weapons, and then in another T section, I found it. A unique Simply Swords weapon. A fire sword whose stats went off screen, so I can't actually see its name or anything important. But it's a unique weapon. And it sucks. So I can just smelt this bad boy down and get that one item that I forgot the name of that I need for the quest line. Also, I'm not going to use it because I don't know if it has to be full health to smelt down or if it can be damaged. So unless I find another, I'm not chancing it. I explored the rest of the floor today with nothing too special to announce, other than the fact that I found the boss door, and a new sentence in the questline popped up. Apparently, it's recommended that I put down a waystone at the door so I can leave and come back. Would have been so good to know this before I made it to the bottom floor. Really tempted to head back to the spawn portal so I can go back home and make another waystone, but I don't know if I should. I gave myself some time to think about it and looted the rest of the dungeon, which I'm really happy that I did, because I found more diamonds. So I went back to the boss door and crafted up 2 diamond helmets. One was luckily good, and then a diamond chest plate, which was crazy good. And I love it. Then I made some iron pants and boots, which were fine. I just made these in case my armor breaks while fighting in there. I'm expecting a huge boss fight. And you know what? No, I'm not gonna chance it. We've come a long way, and we finally have some gear. So we'll just head back out and make a waystone so we can come right back and hopefully not lose anything. So I made it back to the portal, and somehow it was nighttime and raining. Apparently time works differently in the prison dimension. Even though I spent 11 minutes on both previous days, it didn't matter to the overworld. But I was going to stay up during the night and fight some endermen, but it's raining, so they won't spawn. So I went to sleep, but counting today still as day 37. So I collected some cobblestone and made everything I need for the waystone. I went out to get some gravel for flint and found this weird, terrifying monster. Apparently, I made the right call to fall asleep because there was some gravestone raid party at night. Yeah, I'm okay not experiencing that. Anyways, I gathered everything I needed for the waystone. Just need the ender pearl, which I was going to wait till night, but I decided to look around and found an enderman, who appeared to be underground according to the minimap. I dug my way through the mountain and ended up in a cave and fought him, but he only dropped the dirt. So I said to heck with it. I went back to my house and just going to wait till nighttime for the enderman to spawn in. And wowee, it's now nighttime. So I looked around the area for the enderman, but he didn't want to spawn in over here. Oh, and I found this destroyed building next to my house and got this tablet again. Anyways, I teleported back to the zombie horse village area, and boom, there's the enderman. I tickled his toes, and luckily he dropped his ball sack for me too. So I went back home to safety and crafted the waystone, and now we're ready for the prison warden boss fight thing. I made my way all the way back to the boss's door, put down the new waystone, and prayed that the boss fight would be easy. I went through the portal and, well, I wasn't expecting this. I got a few achievements in crafting recipes and stuff, and one achievement was correct. This place sure is serene. I wasn't expecting a beautiful forest with a forever sunset going, was expecting some dark, wet prison cell thing, but I'll happily take this. So, this place is huge. It's not a tiny room, and it's not too repetitive. So, I first fought my way forward through this sniper tower kind of area, looting everything, and the chests in here actually seem worth it to loot compared to the dungeon we were just in. And we have 2 new enemy types. The first one I met is called a runner. They kind of look like Zed from League of Legends, and I really like their design. I also found this really cool king statue that I was able to mine. So I'm definitely using this in our future home build. I do want to build a nice house for this world, especially if you guys want 200 days on this. Just get this video to 10,000 likes and I will. Anyways, I was collecting blocks that I think would be really cool to use in a home, like this arrow sign, and I also looted a moving flag in the dungeon. Both super nice, and I think will bring nice aesthetics. The other new enemy I found is called a protector, or maybe more appropriately named, a pole that doesn't move, because he didn't do anything at all. Oh, and I think I found another unique Simply Swords weapon, but I sadly can't tell because it's too long of a GUI to tell. I'm pretty sure I know the way to the boss, as there's only one road through this entire place, but I'm actually really enjoying just exploring each building and fighting the monsters. Plus, I keep on finding strong weapons and gaining more experience, so soon I'll have new skills unlocked for the boss fight. I found another new enemy in here, but I always kill them before I can read their names, but it's some sort of fairy thing? Pretty weak, but comes out of nowhere. Then I found this elevator that if you right-click it, you can go up or down. I don't know why this impressed me so much, and it put me straight into a fight. Also, really happy that I made this armor before coming here, because if I get hit, my durability takes a metric ton of damage. I cleared out this little underground hallway, and it really didn't have anything. But I saw that there was another hallway near me, so I tunneled through to it, and it also didn't have anything really. So I went up the elevator and followed the pathway back to the beginning of this dungeon. Oops. And then finally followed the pathway the correct way. I was gonna go for the boss, but got distracted when I noticed these 2 signs pointing in a direction to some items that I need. I believe I can unlock something back in the prison dimension with one of these items. Then I got distracted again with another building to loot. I just have a problem with looting places, I know. I explored a few more buildings and kept climbing them up by these barely noticeable chains and noticed my shield was about to break again for the second time in here. Then I crafted this amazing shield that I'm going to try and keep for the boss fight. I'm beginning to feel really confident on it, that we'll be able to beat this boss easily. Maybe. More fighting mobs and looting chests in the morning, kept on following the signs, and then I had to make a choice on which one of these two items I would want to go for. Now, I've seen some vine piles that take this purple backpack looking item, so I decided to go left and try and find this item. Maybe it leads to something really strong, like a unique weapon. I followed the pathways and got to a little town area and looked around. There was a hole in the ground, and before jumping in, I fought some enemies in this building right next to the hole and remembered that I leveled up yesterday, unlocking myself 8% more lethality. And now, we're super close to the one melee perk that I desperately want. Ideally, would be nice to unlock before the boss fight. Now, back to the hole. I figured there'd be a lot of enemies down there. So, as a safety precaution, I placed my water bucket down at the top of the hole and then went down. There's one of those vines that I want to unlock, and I noticed this obelisk. You have to right-click it, and then an elite enemy spawned in. One of the toughest fights ever. My adrenaline began to pump hard. I know this would be one of the most evil enemies I ever fought before in my life. Possibly not making it out of here alive. So much tension in that stake down here. No, it was really easy. I just held out my shield during this red bubble and then kept swinging. Realistically, I didn't even need to block. I would have tanked this with no problem. He dropped the purple backpack thing that I need, and I used it on the vine plant. It shot a vine straight up, and then my water destroyed it. A purple backpack item I obtained also had 8 uses, only 7 left. But I wanted to see if that vine was just an exit or led to somewhere good. So I removed my water bucket and fought the elite enemy again. I got another purple backpack thing and used it on the vine. Kind of a disappointment if I'm being honest, but maybe this item will let us go to some secret or hidden areas now? I left the area and headed back to that double sign spot and figured that the other sign was pointing to the boss, which I began to head that way. I found some enemies and found out that the protector enemy, it just makes other enemies invincible until you defeat the protector. I did all of that and got to looting, then my game crashed. Loading in, it brought me back to the beginning of ending of yesterday where I fought 4 enemies. I killed them all, and then my game crashed. Loading back in, it brought me back to the 4 enemies, and I killed them all, and then my game crashed for the 3rd time. This continued all the way till I crashed 8 times. I don't know why my computer or this mod pack does it. It could be either one, but I really doubt it's my computer. For some reason, the only fix is if I either allocate less or more RAM, and then the game will stop crashing. It truly makes no sense to me. Anyways, once I was able to play again, I made it back to where I crashed. The weird thing is, all the enemies I killed the first time and chests I looted before were dead and still looted. The only thing that was originally lost was just my location. Weird stuff. I looted up the area outside of this giant castle looking place, and brother, let me tell you, this place is dark. As in, I can't see it at all, even with a torch. The doorway was hidden behind some gravel. I went in, used the purple backpack, and made the vines break through the ceiling. I equipped the iron leggings and boots I made back at base. And it's time to go. Going up the vine, there was the boss's portal. I went in and just took in the view again. I don't know why it keeps surprising me, but this dimension is just so serene and beautiful. I took in the views for a bit and then climbed up the chain, and it's time to get to work. Immediately, we were introduced to some new enemies. The Inquisitor, which is basically just a mage that shoots balls at our face, and then some flying bat enemy with razor fangs. Also, this castle we're in gives me insanely strong Elden Ring vibes. So, I'm really enjoying myself here, making me feel like I'm Guts from Berserk for a little bit. The loot here is basically the same from the town, so not too much to write home about. At one point, I did find another unique Simply Swords weapon. It said something about the bees, but it's a bad weapon, so I'll just smelt it down too. I'm trying to collect all the flags, by the way, and I was genuinely heartbroken when this really sick and long flag fell off the castle, falling away from me being able to collect it. Up ahead, I found this elevator that leads down into the castle and figured I should check it out. We should probably check out all of the areas here, might get some good stuff. That's until I met this boy, the fireman. Not the good public helping hand fireman that we all love. No, this dude who can lay fire through walls and my shield and deal a metric ton of damage. The only way I found to beat him safely is to ignore all defense and rush him. I ended up fighting 2 or 3 of them. Really not a good time, and then came across another elevator, leading us down even further. I went down and it was basically the same exact floor. Just a shield enemy at the end, which these are easy. Just keep running in circles and they'll never hit you. Once I cleared this all out, there was a teleporter saying it'll bring me back to the surface. I wasn't sure what it meant by that, but I didn't trust it. Maybe it brought me back to the overworld or back to the beginning of this castle dungeon, but I didn't want to take the risk. It's honestly not a far run back to the top of this castle, so I just ran back and took the elevators. The next section had 2 firemen and some razor bats. Rushed them all to quickly remove all of the threats, and I won't lie, these coal blocks actually got me excited. I'm low on fuel at home, and I don't feel like mining, so I just collected these and got 8 coal blocks in the end. I enjoy the simple things. I parkoured over this broken bridge too, and I honestly should just build across them. There's really no point in risking my life like this, and now it's onto a very tall building. The tallest one on this castle, I believe. You can either go up or down, and I decided to go up because an Inquisitor was giving me back shots and I had to take him out. The first floor had another unique B Simply Swords weapon, also going to smelt this one as it's bad, and the second floor had another fireman. Floor 3 had some bats and some ores on the chest, and then floor 4 had an Inquisitor and another unique Simply Swords weapon that looks incredibly sick, but had bad stats, so I'll end up smelting this one too. I'm just telling you what happens each floor because each tower is basically the same, so in the future we'll just skim through them. The final floor had a fireman, and this is when I realized that if you treat it like a shield enemy, they're not that bad. When they're about to attack, just run in an arch, and the fire will miss you. And if your weapon is as strong as mine, they die in like 5 hits. Not too bad of an enemy. I got this really nice bow that seems to be a sniper's dream. I believe the farther away an enemy is, the more damage this deals. I collected the flags up here next, and then looked out at the rest of the castle. It looks like we took on one of the 3 tallest towers, and I'm honestly quite excited to take on the rest of this castle. The only issue, my backpack is full, and I'm starting to wonder why I didn't make more backpacks before coming here. Instead of taking the long way down, I decided to be smart, and just use a water bucket, and wait for it to hit the bridge. Once I got down to the original bridge, I went across to the other side, which was the other super tall building. Immediately, it was a giant fight. I actually felt really alive and fun here. Once they were cleared out, each floor was barely protected and felt the same. Nothing too special to note, and the chests were all super basic. Starting to get looting fatigue in this place because it's all so similar. Except for the top floor. There was a weapon called the Nutcracker up here, and I felt the pain of reading that name. I did the water bucket tactic to get down from here too, and now you can basically say, Sir Skies has just struck the 2nd tower. I continued onwards, and one thing I'm trying in this whole dimension is to never mine or build through places, because obviously everything is structured a specific way for you to experience it, which this part felt really nice. There's spike traps everywhere and guards to fight, and then some chains to head up and retract your tracks to loot more chests. It's really fun. Next area with enemies was just a ton of those bats and 2 shield users. The sky turned more of an orange, and it feels like time is slowly passing as we progress through this castle. Like, the sun sets a bit more at each checkpoint we make it to. Once I said hi to all of them, there's an underground section, and I think I'll check this one out. For the sake of my durability on everything, I might start skipping rooms and buildings to make it to the boss, even though it's nice fighting all these guys for experience points. Down here, I swear on your mom's life, it was only those firemen. Just back to back to back fire. Felt like I was listening to Kendrick Lamar again. Once I reached the end of this underground area, I saw the teleporter thingy. For whatever reason, I was feeling adventurous. I wanted to see what happened if I clicked on it, and it actually just teleported me back to the beginning of this specific area, like before I went down the chain to explore those underground rooms. So it was nice to use and didn't ruin anything. From there, just more exploring and fighting. Really simple stuff. Had to fight with more of those razor bats, inquisitors, and archers. Then I checked my skills, and I forgot to spend one of the points, but more importantly, I'm 2 levels away from getting the best melee skill to make me so much stronger. So forget about durability, I want to hit like an Abrams tank. So I went to the next tower and headed up. We were already super close to leveling up, so once I said hi to this fireman, I leveled up, and now we can get Warrior's Devotion next. I desperately want to unlock that before the boss fight. I want to see how powerful I can become before meeting him. I made it to the very top of the tower. Nothing too special other than another nutcracker and water bucketed down to the bottom floor. I had a parkour to get to the next area and decided to head down these stairs first. The chests that I'm coming up on today actually weren't too bad. I kept finding some nice ores and weapons in these. There's an obvious issue, however, with the amount I'm looting. I'm well aware that I don't need to carry so many shields, bows, or melee weapons. However, remember, before we entered this dimension, we were struggling hard for armor and weapons. So if I continue playing in this world, I would like to never have that issue again. My goal is to make it out of here with as many weapons and armors that I can carry. Hopefully the boss won't drop too much for me to carry. I made it to the next floor and I just want to show you this. These god rays, just absolutely beautiful. Even if I can't see my enemy directly in front of me, they're still nice to look at. Once I finished up here, I got this pretty sick bow, which I don't know why I'm using a regular bow instead of this monster or literally any other bow that I'm carrying, but I used the teleporter and headed back up. I accidentally skipped the tower right next to me, but I was more intrigued with this wooden midway point area. Cool design, but once I went through, the castle generation definitely took a weird hit. I'm now seeing areas where I have to mine through or use a water bucket to reach, unless the mod creator wanted us to fly here. But after using a water bucket to get to this Inquisitor, there was this cool open area that felt like a boss fight should be here. Again, this castle part is giving me crazy Elden Ring vibes, and I'm loving it so much. What I'm not loving is after I defeated that fireman and was looking for the next place to go, I figured it was this tunnel. Then I fell off the castle because the floor didn't spawn in. I thought I was dead and was going to try and leave a water bucket on the wall so I could swim up in the future, but then I teleported to the beginning of the castle dungeon. I'll happily take running back over dying and having to come all the way back. Once I made it back to that fall off point, I looked around and really didn't want to use my water bucket to get through this. I noticed on the left side that there was a single block pathway and figured I should just head this way. It was the right call. We're roughly 28% to the next level for the Warrior's Devotion, and I'm really hoping that I can unlock it before the boss fight. But I got a feeling I'll unlock it, as a metric ton of enemies are spawning down here, and hopefully there's a mini boss fight before the boss. I made it to the bottom floor, and this felt darker than usual. It's already really hard to see inside of the castle areas, but wow, this wasn't helping. A ton of fighting happened down here, but nothing out of the usual to write about. I swapped out my bad bow that I keep on using for some reason with an actual good one, but once I get Warrior's Devotion, this bow is going to become 25% worse. I teleported back to the top of this area, and now there's only one tower remaining. This bad boy also had to be parkoured too, which really would have sucked if I missed, seeing as we're at the end. And I'm now sitting at 45% experience till the next level. It's not that bad. Maybe we can get it in this tower. And it was actually looking pretty good for us as there were a ton of enemies and they actually drop a decent amount of experience. This tower was just like the rest though. Just an interesting entrance, a lot of enemies for us, but the top was kind of cool. It was just a lot of ladder levels to climb up, and then the very top was really sick and destroyed. It feels like there's a lot of magic holding this castle up, and that the castle was ripped away from somewhere. Because why is so much of the lower and higher sections of this place just torn apart? Back to the experience though, we didn't make it. We only got to 64%, and if you look over here, we're right at the boss's quarters, I'm assuming. So, since I didn't explore this tower, there has to be some enemies in it, right? So, I'm just gonna backtrack and hit this tower first. Oh, and I swapped out the rapier we were using for this absolutely sick sword. I kind of want to keep that rapier as it was really nice and strong, and maybe we could just repair it for cheap. I made it to the tower, and let's just hope that we can level up. Immediately jump straight into fighting. Such an amazing feeling already, as there's so many enemies on the first floor, and even the next floor, and just so much experience. And then it stopped. It was at this floor that I realized that I can't use my shield with this sword. It's a two-handed sword, and I didn't know because I can't read the top of this weapon's description. So fighting this archer and inquisitor combo, not fun. I managed to make it to the top, and there was just two bats. There's one staring at the sun as if it's its lover, and this bow, not a fan. It arcs in a very weird way compared to the vanilla bow, but it's doable. And at the end of all of this tower run, I didn't level up. Not even close. We made it to 75%. We're in trouble. There's nowhere else I can go to farm some enemies and level up. So I'm in my way back to the end of this castle. Went up the stairs and hello, beautiful. So many enemies inside of this room, and this is also the part I realized. When I'm not holding the sword, I get extra health from the shield. But when I hold this sword, I lose health, making my hunger drop a lot. I fought everyone in this room, and this sword is actual god tier. It can heal me when I damage enemies, and it also will 1 or 3 shot an enemy. Maybe we're in luck for this boss fight. I got organized and try to hype myself up for this upcoming fight. The boss is just down this elevator. So I hopped on, right-clicked, and shot straight down to nothing? This isn't the boss room. It's another portal. Are you kidding me? So I went through the portal and get this. It was the boss fight. The concierge on the Black Bridge. Looking through the bars, it looks like Zed from League of Legends to me. I took a deep breath. The ghost door, who kept on randomly opening, opened up again for me, and I stepped through. Instantly, the door locked, so I can't run, and this dude screamed at me. The fight is on. I quickly charged him and swung. I deal no damage. I'm screwed. I pushed through, and I swung again. Okay, maybe I got this. Maybe we can beat this man. He has a fire move, which you can jump over if you're good enough, but a lot of the times I was bad enough and didn't land it. Remember, I lose max health when I equip the sword and my hunger drops, which it kept doing. So I was getting to a point where my stake was on cooldown and I couldn't heal. I guess it was a smart decision to hold on to these health vials because they truly saved me. Then, once I got him low enough, a new attack emerged. He screamed and turned purple at me and then lunged. This dude can leap the entire bridge, and if I get hit, I'll fly backwards. He also has a red force field. If I get too close, it'll damage me. This amazingly awesome boss fight is going smoothly. Maybe I can win. The boss lunged straight at me, and I clearly entered the next stage. He was ruthless. I never had a clear moment to heal or eat. I was just trying to keep my distance and heal up, but he wouldn't give me any moments at all to prepare for the next attack. I'll be honest, it wasn't looking good for me, Chief. I thought I was going to die. He was around 75 HP, and I was running lower and lower on health potions. I couldn't get close because he'd have an attack prepared to push me away, but ironically enough, the closer I was to him, the safer I was. I tried to hit him with the bow, but it wouldn't shoot for some reason. Maybe I wasn't holding it long enough. Then he lunged at me. I dodged it, I healed up, I sprinted at him, and I swung and... What? I'm sorry. He died? He was just at 54 HP. I hit 1/6 of his health bar, and I killed him in one hit and got an achievement called Steamrolled. I don't think that was a steamroll. I think that was more straight up deletion? How did I manage to deal that much damage? I've never dealt that much before. Clearly, there's something up with this sword that I'm not getting. Also, after defeating the concierge, I got a second health bar? And his obelisk spawned in, so I can just teleport back here whenever I want and farm him. The entire ending was so random and abrupt to me. I was genuinely confused and stunned and didn't know what to do. I looked around to see if I could head anywhere, but no, all there is to do here is just fight him. He didn't really drop anything cool. I got some boss cell, which I'm assuming lets me make a cool weapon. I headed back and it was nighttime. I'm really close to leveling up. I'm at 89%. So I thought, why not just stay up and fight some mobs? See if we can level up. Which I easily did. I unlocked Warrior's Devotion and Marcus. When I say I became strong, I really mean I became strong. If I'm lucky with this sword, I can one-shot enemies. I can two-shot an Enderman, and I just feel like an Abrams tank. Truly living my dream. I had some fun and said hi to some more mobs and then just went to bed. With our inventory more than full, it was time to get organized. I used one of my mini chests in my backpack to just randomly place chests around the house. I put all the weapons and tools I got from the prison dimension into one chest, filled up my original chest, and then placed the dimension's warpstone things in this chest next to the door. I looked through the quest and I thought I'd be done with the prison dimension. You know, we beat the concierge. I assumed we were done. But no. There's some tentacle boss with a very confusing name that I cannot pronounce because I'm white and American. So now I'm really intrigued to go back in. But first, I smelted down one of my duplicate unique Simply Sword weapons I had. I don't want to smelt one that I only have one of in case it's possible to change their stats. Wouldn't want to lose a really sick weapon, you know? And the smelting process took a really long time. Once it was finished, I continued on with the Simply Swords quest and tried to combine this runic tablet with this orb thingy like it told me to. I used a smithing table, but it wasn't working for some reason. No idea what I'm doing wrong, but I can't combine these things regardless of what order I put it in or what table I use. Hopefully you guys can help me out in the comments. I grabbed the purple backpack thing and some health potions because apparently to find this final boss, you need to find that vine plant inside of the prison. It leads to the final boss whose name I cannot pronounce. So I went back into the prison and looked down every single lane in here, which was silly because apparently all I had to do was walk forward because this vine plant was in plain view right at the beginning of this dimension. So I went up, stole some flags, and went through the portal. I've now gone to a place that not even rats go to. I had to call the elevator up, no idea why it's down there, and then I went in. I was caught off guard because I thought the door led to a hallway, but no, it was the boss fight. Love the design as it's chained up by 3 big chains, and it was kind of awkward at first. It didn't move, and I didn't know how to attack it. Then it told me where it was going to land for some reason, and I could hit it 2 times each time it did this. Without the warrior's devotion, this probably would have been harder, but I gotta be honest, I think I beat this dude in like 5 or 6 minutes. The concierge was honestly a better final boss than this, as it was so much more difficult to reach, and the fight just felt more intense. This eyeball would just land on the ground, get hit. I'd sometimes chase it and hit it when it was in its original spot, like this, and sometimes it would shoot green lasers that you can literally outwalk. The fun part was the tentacles. This erotic monster would send out tentacles to me, and how to keep pulling them out where the sun don't shine. The fun part was the ending again. I don't know if it's me or my weapon or a game mechanic, but I started swinging and got it down to 73 health, and then I finished it off with 1 swing. Again, I don't know how I'm doing a metric ton of damage at the end of the boss fight, but I'm not complaining. He dropped a teleporting rune back here and just a lot of ores and random things. Nothing special. I looked around the room, noticed how fast I won, and just walked to the teleporter back home. I won't lie, the journey through the prison dimension was absolutely awesome. I genuinely loved it a ton. But these last 2 boss fights, they were really lacking. Ideally, I'd love it if the mod creator made 1 more boss. Once you beat the concierge, you then travel through an underground network dungeon and get to the final boss after fighting several elite enemies. And then the final boss is some fallen king. I think that'd be a way better ending to this mod. But I want to make it clear, I love the prison dimension. I had a ton of fun in here, and it was an awesome journey. Oh, actually, I got this Sharpness 5 book from the quest line for beating that boss. So maybe we did have an awesome ending because, brother, Tiffany, I need you to focus here. Okay, I can put this Sharpness 5 on this great sword. I repeat, Sharpness 5 on this monstrous sword, so now we have a god tier sword. I'm itching to fight again, but I don't want to go to the prison dimension, so instead, we're going exploring. And I also want to pick back up on the Void's Invasion questline. I want to find that Night Lich now, especially since I think we're so unbelievably overpowered. Smiley face. So I headed near an icy biome area above my house, and I saw on the minimap that there was a village. I immediately became even more excited. There's a possibility that there's a waystone here. I won't have to craft one maybe. So I reached the houses and began to loot them, really only finding some emeralds, but I did steal their torches as I'm really low on those and don't want to craft more. This village is also really beautiful, and I love the forest around here. It's making me want to build, which I might end up doing soon, but then there it was, just sitting there as gorgeous as ever, the waystone in this village, and oh boy, did I steal it. Once I was in the village, I ran off to the circus beer tent villager thingy, and yep, again, the beer is censored, so I stole all of their torches as there's nothing in here to steal for some reason. I stole their beer mug, tried to collect the alcohol, but it just disappeared once I broke it, so it truly is censored, and then ran off to this meteor that I started to mine into, but fell asleep on. The meteor actually had some decent loot inside. That was fun, and then I headed off along the icy biome area, sticking to the warmer side because I don't think the Night Lich is going to spawn here. I really think the mod pack is keeping some info from me, or not telling me the truth on where to find the Night Lich. I don't think he should be this hard to find. I found this ominous, obviously haunted graveyard site. It gave me the spooks. Clearly, I should respect it. I'm looting it. I'm just taking things. I'm straight up stealing. Okay, I'm doing good. I'm just robbing a gravesite again. Obviously, nothing bad will come from this. A lot of the ice is melting rapidly. Couldn't be because of some global event going on currently, but I then turned right because I was heading towards loaded chunks. This direction was somewhat frozen, so there is a possibility of me finding the Night Lich. But then, I found this house and I thought villagers would live there. It was a nice altar that, oh baby, a 2-hitter! That's right, couldn't even get a hit on me, I straight up 2-shot that boy! And then I got this frozen totem. No idea what it does. Really wish it would have a description explaining the item, but now I'm feeling alive. That dude stood no chance. Just like his loot in his house that I stole, and now I have a bundle that, unironically, is useful for me. Across the river was a pillager camp, and I was straight up sorking it in here. And by it, oh well, let's just say a single shot. Every single one of them, one taps. Oh, I'm having a blast. I just want to fight an army at this point. I love this mod pack so much. They made me unstoppable. From there, I kept running straight, as one does, and was just trying to stay near any frozen biome. Then I saw the Iceologer's house again. I went inside, and before he knew what was up, two-tapped again, baby. We got more simple loot, but got another bundle. It's like the game is just begging me at this point to keep exploring and fighting. I'm just getting very clear signs that we're doing the correct thing right now. Other than killing this mama mammoth and baby mammoth. That part wasn't correct. My bad. I just really wanted to keep hitting things. Now, I really don't want to explore for like 30 days trying to find this tower. Especially since I don't even know what the Night Lich's palace looks like or if I'm in the right dimension. So I looked on YouTube and saw this short. Apparently, you need to make some kind of soul star and you can throw it in. It'll show you the way to the Night Lich's tower or something like that. But in the comments, someone said just make an explorer's compass. It'll lead you to any structure you want. So I ran home, had the majority of the items needed for the compass, finally made it, and well, we're in trouble. Firstly, I have 2 soul stars, and I think you need 4 or 6 to activate the Night Lich. You get these by killing mobs. The other issue, the structure didn't spawn in my world, or at least within 10,000 blocks of me. Super cool. So now I have to think if I want to even try this campaign now. So my thoughts are, regardless, I have to run over 10,000 blocks regardless if I want to do this campaign or not now. So instead of just randomly running 10,000 blocks and missing cool things, I might as well go for one of these hundreds of places. This compass, super broken. There's so many locations that my finger got tired of scrolling. I saw there's a mushroom village, and if memory serves me right from other mod packs, this should be super fun. So I headed out, lots of running, and I came across this cave with really cool rainbow crystals. I collected quite a bit. Said hello to the locals when leaving because I need to fight everything I see so I can try and get some soul stars, and went on my way. The village is roughly 3,000 blocks from me, but we should be able to reach it tomorrow. Is what I would have said if I wasn't so easily distracted and wanted to loot every place I come across. So I saw this destroyed nether portal, but it's made out of blue obsidian. So obviously I stopped to collect it all. Super important. Right across from the portal, a meteor. I just dug down to the chest because it always has ingots and goodies in there. Happy I collected it, and then finally I continued on forward. I then came across some pillagers and another pillager camp, just fighting everyone I can. And then I came upon this really cool building, actually really well built and decorated. There's a pillager inside, so it makes me think that this isn't a pillager building, because why is there only one? And this place had some really sick loot. I was actually enjoying just going around and exploring this place, and then came the end of the day. I kept hearing something in these walls, and I couldn't find any way in. So I dug through, looted the chest, and I set the allays free. Only issue, one of them got caught on this cobweb, and I was genuinely trying to help it out. I looked till the sword icon wasn't on my screen, meaning I'm not trying to attack the poor thing, and then, yeah, I kind of maybe possibly killed it. My bad. I saw this ladder down some stone stairs yesterday and decided to go check it out. Most likely a dungeon. Along the way, the pillagers finally decided to come out and say hi. So maybe this place actually does belong to them. Once the formalities were finished, I went down and this ladder was partially underwater. I thought maybe this entire dungeon would be too. No, it was fine. Out of this entire place, there was one zombie. Was weirdly empty. And there were quite a few chests, but mainly just got a metric ton of name tags and some weapons and armor that I'll never use. There was a few rooms down here, but nothing special. Then I found another ladder and went down some more. Every single doorway was blocked off. So I dug through, and this dungeon leads into an abandoned mineshaft, making me think maybe this place spawned in wrong because it was such a weird time exploring this place. I went through one of the walls and went inside the mineshaft cave area. I kept hearing this random noise and found out it's a rascal. No idea what it does, but apparently it can teleport. It hurt my feelings, so I just left the place and continued onwards to the mushroom village. Up next is a massive ocean. I saw this villager fishing hut area and a guardian temple. I steered clear of it and went for the village, picking up every single fish in their chest to unlock some of the collector's achievements. Super smart, I know. Once I was done and looted the ship's debris site, I thought I'd hit land as it was turning nighttime. No, apparently there's no land for over 1,000 blocks. Really happy I had this boat. I fought some mobs in the morning and just followed the compass. This entire biome area and forest and mountains, everything is just so beautiful. Kind of tempted to move where my house is located, or at least build a second home. since I can just use waystones to move around. And there I was, like 400 blocks from the Mushroom Village when I saw it, the dojo dungeon. And oh baby, I was thrilled. You see, I still need more soul stars and I want to use those weapons some more. Plus, I can definitely use some experience right now to level up more. I really want to unlock more damage skills. So I headed over to the dojo and ran around it once. Couldn't find a door. Fine, no problem. I'll make my own. So the monsters inside, super easy, except for the wither skeletons. I don't know why, but these dudes are just stupid, crazy strong. This will surprise you all. I just ran around and cleared out the entire first floor. Nothing too crazy happened other than this strong upside down skeleton shooter that was also stupid, scary strong. The loot isn't anything special in here either, but that's not what we're after. I did level up, so I think we're making the right choice, making a pit stop in here. But hopefully I can at least get one more soul star. These things are kind of stupid rare, unless maybe the bosses from the prison dimension can also drop them. Now, onto the second floor. On this one, it was mostly wither skeletons, which I actually do need. I need them to drop some more coal, so we can keep on making torches to light this entire place up. Which, Chief, it ain't looking good. I never realized how rarely they drop that item. Also, had a run-in with like 6 upside-down skeletons, and was the strangest fight ever, but my tracking is amazing, so it was fun. I looted an enchanting table and all the books in there, because I think it's been roughly 2 or 3 years since I've used one of these, and it might be fun in here to use. All the chests were super except for the last one, which was weirdly filled to the brim with loot. Like, someone most definitely came by and wanted to help me out or something. Also, found out I can wear 2 rings, so now I have an extra 2 armor on me. Nice and tanky. I went to floor 3 today and decided to just farm this doorway till I could get some coal from the wither skeletons. I'm out of torches and I can't continue this place without them really. I ended up getting a soul star, which was huge and made me want to farm this area more. That was until I was walking through the hallway to see if I could find some more wither skeletons, and well, I got invaded by a Hexblade Magister. Once I hit him because I thought it was a wither skeleton, and I swing first, ask questions later, immediately little dweebs just came through and actually dealt damage to me, making me go down to half health. I got some achievement called Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Sounds like a parody of a rap group. I got their weapons, which, no offense, are really, really bad. Unless I'm just not noticing how to use them, but anyways, with 18 torches at the end of the day, we should be good to continue on. So I continued onwards, cleared out this floor, and found another weird chest with a metric ton of loot inside. Super duper nice. And pushed forward to the staircase leading to floor 4. So, really big fight here. Lots of wither skeletons, didn't really get any coal, and that sucks. Because I made it through like 2 rooms on floor 4, and now we're out of torches again. This floor also seems to have an absurd amount of cave spiders. Like, at this moment right here, I swung once and killed maybe 5 or 10 spiders. The thud on the ground was just really loud and it made me laugh when I heard it. Jeez. I almost lost my helmet today, but I think we're over halfway through this place. Or at least I'm hoping so. And I remember near the end of today that I leveled up like 5 times. So that's a cool power spike. Hopefully I notice a nice increase in my killing power. I kept looking for some wither skeletons to spawn in, but this entire floor is just cave spiders, which, weirdly enough, not bad. For some reason, there's only 1 cave spider in each room that wants to fight me, really. The rest just go into the corners and edges of the ceiling. Not sure why, but they're all one-shots, so I don't mind at all, and I leveled up again. Then I climbed up to floor 5. Kind of the same layout and enemies as floor 3, but I'm still not really seeing too many wither skeletons. Just like 1 or 2 here and there. I cleared out the room and then decided, hey, let's clean out my inventory and backpack. I'm probably carrying a lot of things that aren't useful. So I got to cleaning and what? Wait, is that 8 coal? Have I been carrying 8 coal this entire time without noticing? You're kidding me. Well, at least I don't need to edit the footage brighter anymore, now that we can all see. Oh, and I got a 4th soul star from a wither skeleton. So I'm loving this place a ton, and speaking of loving it, I got these paladin pants, which are really nice and tanky and help me heal. So that was a sick find. Would love to find more or figure out how to make them. Not to make this dojo dungeon too repetitive, but every floor was basically the same. I kept trying to find more wither skeletons, but could only find cave spiders. Floor 6 wasn't anything special, but floor 7 is when I encountered the tankiest spiders ever. Just regular spiders that had 70 health. Even after leveling up and becoming so strong that I can one-shot most mobs, these spiders take like 4 hits. And sometimes the spiders are carrying cave spiders. Wild stuff up here. Only makes me wonder what the boss is going to be like. And that's basically the only notable stuff that happened. Oh, and I popped my frozen totem somehow? Yeah, at one point I was taking poison damage. I didn't think my health was that low, but apparently it was, and so I popped the totem at half health, which luckily I have another one back at home. I keep on forgetting to mention this. Whenever I find these upside down skeletons, they're called dinner bones, I love to inflict civil war on them, which I'm so unbelievably happy that I did here. I like to use my shield and have them shoot, and then instantly they try to kill each other. Makes it a lot more possible to progress in here, because if I didn't do this, I'd surely die. After climbing up to what I believe is floor 8, I had an even worse encounter with those Hexblade Magisters, or whatever they want to be called. It just kept coming, and I just kept on swinging. Apparently, I really should just hold on to this blade they drop that makes them not be able to drop portals anymore. Once they finally disappeared, I got another soul star, getting me to 5 total now. Love this place. I read the Hexblade I got a bit closer and realized this is a key to another dimension. The Glass Ocean? Which sounds absolutely amazing and will definitely be making a trip there. Nothing else happened till the end of today, when I made it to the Wither Skeleton Army Factory. Definitely won't be needing to farm them anymore, as this room has like 20 of them. Since each floor I keep clearing out and lighting up, it makes the upper floors spawn in a lot more often. So the very top floor should be awesome. And I got a Wither Skeleton skull at the end of today. Now, remember how I said I really need coal and to farm Wither Skeletons? Well, let's forget about that. First, I was getting harassed by a banjo player, and then later on a flute player, but that wasn't the worst part. Turning around and seeing this friendly creeper staring at me was, because why was it so adorable and friendly? Anyways, now for a height part, because this fight right here with like 30 Wither Skeletons, so intense. It got so intense, in fact, that I couldn't enter the room for like 2 or 3 minutes. Just dashing around in super intense fights, and you'd think that Mappa animated this stuff because, wow, I'm definitely not sitting still, swinging non-stop because I can't enter. But once I could enter, whoa, genuinely impressive here, as I managed to not get touched at all and lit up the next room and broke both spawners, finally making it possible to enter this place. And yeah, the safer I make this dojo, the worse it is on the upper floors. But again, not complaining. I'm loving the soul stars I'm getting and the experience. Once I was finally able to clear out the first 2 rooms, I made it to this spider room and saw that there was some coal blocks. Obviously, I took them, but then I got this divine chest plate. I'm sure I can reroll stats on armor, but I don't know how to do it right now. Would have loved to make this chest plate amazing, but I was more confused on how I got a chest plate by breaking coal blocks. First time this has happened to me. Today was basically the same as the rest. It was a ton of fighting, very slowly moving forward as there's basically an entire country's army in front of me that won't stop spawning in. But tremendously great experience, and now the chest just hold a lot of loot. Like, so much that this wouldn't seem fair if it wasn't mostly poo-poo items. I'm growing tired of this place, so I'm growing a lot more brave and careless in here. Just running into rooms because I'm starting to notice that I'm just absurdly strong, which I'll never complain about. I think we can all agree that losing your armor in a dungeon would be a very big no bad thing, right? So, I was taking damage and thought, I wonder how my armor is doing. Since my helmet broke a bit ago and I really don't want to lose this amazing chest plate, well, my armors are low. But that one room where I dug out a divine chest plate and coal blocks, it has a nearly destroyed anvil in it. So, I ran back and used all of my diamonds and some iron to repair all of my armor, which literally cost me nothing as I have over 100 levels from fighting everything and their entire family tree. At some point, I will have to steal some villagers because I really do need mending and I'm breaking 3 on everything. Ideally, would like to get protection 4 as well, but if I can get those first 2 enchantments, I'd be really happy because I'll genuinely sob if I lose this greatsword. The remainder of today was just spent fighting and moving upstairs and lighting up places. I won't lie, I'm really starting to believe that there's no end to this dojo. I think it's actually expanding upwards and there's a group of builders just slamming blocks down faster than I can move. But I really don't want to leave as I'm loving this experience and soul star grind. Also, the chests are getting better. Day 69. Stop laughing. I'm noticing a change in audio. Instead of sounding like there's mobs on multiple floors, I'm only really hearing them directly above me, making me believe that this is almost over soon. Oh, and I got harassed by a man with a bagpipe today. The musical mercenaries are making a comeback. But once I defeated him, he gave me head. I mean, he dropped his head. So that was dope. Got 2 so far now. I ran through to light up the area and got attacked by a miner. You, gross, and decided, freak it. Let's just run through this entire floor and light it up and remove all spawners. Trying to make it so we can clear this floor out faster than 15 minutes. Once that floor was all lit up and cleared, my ears were right. I have a feeling I'm near the top now because I'm not really hearing too many enemies. At least not above me. They're all kind of around me on the same floor. Another reason why I want to clear out this entire dojo is because I've been to this dojo in like 3 other movies before on this channel, but I never went past like the first 2 rooms. It was always too difficult, but now that I'm built like a literal tank, it's possible. I had to do the speed strat again, and luckily, I'm a tank. I did take a few hits, but without rushing out like this, it would have taken the entire day and possibly more to get through this place. My goodness. Now, once I lit up like 75% of this area, I went back and started to destroy the spawners and finish off the remaining enemies. Except for this wither skeleton right here, who really just hit my ego with a dagger. It wasn't moving, it was just in disbelief at how many times I was jumping and missing him. A non-moving target. Yeah, that was embarrassing. Good thing you guys will never see this. Once the floor was done, we were finished. We finally made it to the end. So, the very top. Interesting choice in building. So, I know the mod creator made this floor as a final hard fight. The issue, maybe don't build with the light blocks like glowstone if you use spawners. Just saying, a silly mistake. Only like 2 wither skeletons spawned in, so I ran around and destroyed all spawners and lit up the place. We were finally safe. Except for the ceiling. Mobs can spawn up there. But anyways, all of the chests basically contain diamonds, golden carrots, gold, and golden apples. I did get this god tier amazing legendary diamond pants, a super high-end god apple, and some experience bottles. Now that I've finally completed a dojo dungeon for once, I think all future ones will just water bucket to the top and loot those chests. Nothing against this dungeon, it was pretty fun, but the chests inside just aren't worth it for us, and this place takes up way too much time to beat. I want to explore more structures and dimensions in this mod pack. I looked out up top here, and yeah, I guess I can believe now that we've gone up like 11 or 12 floors as we're so high up. And then I did it. I looked up to see if the Lich's Tower is near, and Tyler, we found it. There's actually a Lich Tower nearby. So where my house was, I think this tower was like 400 blocks away from being noticed. We were actually so close. So coming to this dojo and trying to find the Mushroom Village was actually smart. Oh wait, the Mushroom Village. So I was going to head to the Lich's Tower, and then I remembered the Mushroom Village. So I had to locate it again, and now there's 5 Mushroom Villages to choose from. I found the right one and headed in its direction. I used the water bucket in the snow region because powdered snow will disappear from water, and it's a safe way to travel instead of using a slab bridge. Once I made it to the village, I definitely chose the right one. Also, there's a random fungus turtle here? Must be my glasses because this dude looks like a sea turtle, but anyways, with this village, I want to beat it. If there is a beating it to it. You see, this is also not my first time with this village. I've explored it numerous times in other mod packs, but was always too weak to beat it. And speaking of weak, I'm not seeing any enemies. Like, there's no one in this village. There's maybe 4 cow people here, and even the loot is missing. Out of this entire mushroom village, I think I found like 1 good chest. The enemies were super weak, and I did manage to level up here, so it wasn't a complete waste of time. And I looked over all the skills. I think I'll just unlock all of the attack speed and damage perks first, and then move on to movement speed and health. All of the other sections of this level up tree are just really bad to me, but with the mushroom village completed, I saw this really cute lit up pathway near it and just went to sleep there. I did check out the other Lich location, which is a prison, but that's the opposite direction. So if I beat the Lich in time, we'll go check that out. However, with it being over 6,000 blocks away, we can't get distracted at all. We have to be fast and rush for it. Oh wait, there's a tiny village spot. This place is like the frozen villager inn from the beginning of this movie. I was just checking it out to see if they had a waystone, but sadly, it doesn't. So I continued on running. I found yet another prisoner portal place. I think this is my 4th one I found, and I'm really interested in entering it because I'm curious if it'll lead me to a new dimension that I can beat again, or if it just leads me to the same one I've already beaten. But I can't test it out because we still have 5,000 blocks to run. Got a late start today. Then I made it to the coast at night. It kind of feels like we're in One Piece, and all these islands we're traveling to are super far away, so we're predominantly pirates. So I got up boating today, and it was just a massive ocean. Nearly as large as your forehead. Sorry. And I was just going to hold W and shift and ignore everything. But then I saw this boat with like 5 chests, and obviously I won't give in to temptation. I'm going to ignore it and keep going forward strong. I'm going to the boat. Oh, I'm climbing into the boat now. And yeah, I got like 4 emeralds from this. Just a really bad boat. So I learned my lesson and just continued on for the rest of the day. I saw this giant pillager boat that would have been fun to beat, and this villager fishing place in a sky village. But no, I'm being strong so we can have more adventures. And when the sun was setting, I finally made it to land. Another absolutely massive and long ocean ride. But when I made it to land, we went over 2,500 to 2,700 blocks. So that actually helped us out tremendously. Then I fell asleep in this beautiful flower meadow with bees near me. So today I found a prison dimension portal and thought that was funny, until I immediately found another one. So now I'm starting to think that they're not rare at all, but maybe where I built my home was just lucky. Anyways, it was a lot of running through beautiful biomes today. Really love this pumpkin one. Kinda want to build a second home here. And then I made it to another coastline, but saw this sunken ship that wasn't sunken and, well, kind of a waste of time. Nothing good in it other than the diamonds and ores on the last chest, and then I made our last boat trip. I made it to the ice caps biome, and with the sun setting, there she is, the Night Lich's Tower. We finally made it, and it only took about 74 days to find this place, so we can finally begin the campaign. Now, given his name is the Night Lich, I kind of figured that he would only spawn in at night. Plus, my inventory and backpack are basically full. So I teleported home and got organized. Then repaired my armor, which, spoiler, was a smart decision. And once I felt like I was ready, I went back to the Lich's Tower and went inside. The first floor had loot inside of this ice pillar thingy, so I looted that, but I'm not expecting much from these chests anymore. Maybe a good legendary armor piece or weapon, but I made it to the second floor, said hi to the enemies, and removed some spawners. And then went to the third floor just to make sure there's no more altars up there that need soul stars. There's not, there's only the 4 on the second floor. So I fixed up all the holes on the floor so I wouldn't fall during the fight, and then spawned them in. I filled up all 4 altars and, well, his health bar spawned in, but not him, so I started to check all around the tower and couldn't find him. Then I found him flying around like a princess, and, well, this is where things go wrong. So, you cannot hit him with a melee weapon. I mean, you probably can, but he's so much of a chicken that you can't get near him. I tried a lot. Even ran him away from the tower and almost lost him. He also spawns in phantoms that'll go boom boom once they hit you. And my bow sucks. It's supposed to shoot 3 arrows out or something, but no, it only shoots to the left. So it makes it even harder to use. All I'm figuring out with bows in this mod pack is that I hate all of them that aren't vanilla. At least with vanilla bows, you can actually use them. I also popped my frozen totem, which those are kind of doggy doo-doo water, as they pop at half health, and I don't notice them do anything. So, with a heavy heart, I returned home. Clearly, I need an actual ranged weapon. So, I tried to sleep. And well, technically I can, but I really can't. We're locked in nighttime until this lich dies. Yay. So I looked around for some bows I could use. First one, I like the sound of it. It shoots continuously, and later on I found out it has infinity on it. Like, it naturally doesn't use any arrows. So, not bad. I grabbed 2 other bows, however, just in case this one is bad. And I was going to head back till, well, I got startled as one of those incredibly stupid hexblade people spawned in. I don't know why, but I'm just cursed to forever have them. They won't leave me, and I don't know why. So, I killed the first one, and accidentally killed the bee too. I got to swinging and was killing them, but I was taking a randomly absurd amount of damage. I tried to run and fight, but no. I died for a second time. Complaining aside, I tried to get the gravestone, but it just wouldn't give me my stuff, so I led all the butt heads into this little pond thing and ran inside and crafted myself a legendary iron pick. And then finally, I can get my stuff back from the gravestone. After all of this shenanigans happened, I lost over 100 levels. I'm genuinely pissed at that, but it's whatever. We'll level up again later. So I went back to the Lich. And the continuously shooting machine gun bow? Not too bad. It's incredibly difficult to aim with this, as are all the modded bows for some reason. I got him down nearly half the first tick when I noticed my good armor is about to break. Can't have that. So, I I returned home to heal up everything, but oh, wait. Those stupid dummy doo-doo heads who won't leave me alone for some reason made me lose all of my levels. So now I have to craft iron leggings and a helmet that I don't care for. I then went back to the Lich and I was trying to fight him out in the open as I normally do, but if I can't dodge these stupid explosive shots, I'll just play dirty too. It was genuinely a fight to get back to the tower, but I finally made my way to the second floor, and I'll just use his own tower against him. Won't lie, I'm not a fan of this fight. This boss genuinely sucks to go against because of the restrictions to fight him. I really wish I could, you know, use the one skill I spec'd into this entire time to fight him, like I could all the other fights I've done in this entire movie. So I began trying out the other bows, but honestly, that machine gun bow that doesn't lose any durability as I use it, or any arrows, it's the best one. It's just incredibly impossible to hit this boss as he also teleports and only lets you see him for like 0.3 seconds. So we got an issue. Especially when he shot into the tower and I fell. Things aren't going well. I made it back up and that's when I saw this. He heals. The boss who you can only use range on, he teleports and hides, impossible to dodge his explosive shots, and spawns in phantoms that'll blow up on you, heals if you don't damage him soon enough. I won't lie, I'm sitting at two options currently as I record this. Either I go into creative mode and I kill him with my sword, or just type in the kill command to kill everything near me. Or I just leave and never come back and the rest of the movie is in nighttime. After dying an unfair death and quote fighting end quote this boss, I'm just not enjoying this anymore. The entire mod pack was genuinely fun until this moment, and I'm really sorry. I don't mean to be negative, but this just seems too unfair. Also, according to people on Reddit, even if you kill the Night Lich, there's a 50% chance you won't complete the quest due to some glitch. Is what I would have said if I was a loser who gives up. So, if it plays like a teleporting wither, I think I got a plan. First, I teleported back to the Night Lich spot. Second, I ran till I found a spot that had land and I could dig down. Third, I'll dig out a tunnel system so I can hide underground and away from his overpowered explosives and snipe at him while he flies over me. Fourth, I miss every shot with my bow because it's impossible to see where the arrows are going because it's so dark and he moves too much. Fifth, the Night Lich will then disappear at night so I can't fight him. Wait, what? He disappeared at the end of the day and I went out to look for him? Huh. I guess my strategy is too strong and now I'm being punished for it? So I ran around and I was looking at my minimap the entire time, trying to find the yellow dot that's him. I know he's in the forest because when I went over here to the beach with these guys, his health bar disappeared. So I ran around the forest trying to find him and I was just about to give up when I found him in the cave system. And then he instantly just had to give me the ick and destroy my helmet with an unfair shot. So I worked on leading him back to the frozen lake so I could shoot at him from my hole. And, well, I don't know how to hit him. I'll just go ahead and say I'm bad, but I genuinely don't know where to aim. I've tried aiming right on him, ahead of him, way ahead of him, behind him, nothing. And after an entire day of fighting him, he's at full health again, and I'm about to lose more armor. Really fun fight. So I camped in my tunnel all of today. I just tried out my strat. He kept on blowing away my ceiling as time went on, so I had to keep on digging every few minutes. So even hiding underground won't help you from the Lich. I ate a direct shot like I'm queso and nearly died. I went down to 1 heart. This fight has been going on for so long that it's snowing today. One of the points when I was digging, I went into a cave spider frozen room with no chest. It looks like everyone is just hiding from the Lich. I'm starting to run out of ideas as I just don't know how to fight this guy. It genuinely looks impossible as he keeps on healing. Now, I'll admit it, I'm not the best shot on Minecraft, but I know for a fact I'm not bad enough to miss 99.9% of my shots. So I started to shoot at phantoms, and I had a bit easier time with them. I could actually hit them kind of consistently. The snowstorm ended and I could see my shots even better now. So, the bow will shoot everywhere. It's not accurate at all. But I'm very positive that the Night Lich's hitbox isn't his body. It's somewhere else, and I can aim the same I do for all other mobs and hit them, but not the Night Lich. So now at this point, I'm even more hopeless on killing him. I could go away and maybe come back later with a better bow and skills, but it takes me several hundred mobs to level up, and it'd probably take me about 100 to 200 days to come back and finish off the Lich legitly. I ran back home because my pants broke and I desperately don't want to lose my chest plate or shoes. They're both incredibly nice and my favorite. So I got organized and made some iron armor and had to remake almost all of it because of how bad the first iron armor was. Really need to figure out how to reset the rolls on them. But now we need to have a serious talk. So today didn't go well either. And I honestly feel like this entire movie has been going super well. Like, I'm genuinely loving this mod pack and this movie. I feel like it's being played super well, edited super well, awesome commentary to go with it, great lead to a 200 days on here if you guys want it. But this fight, I feel like it's ruined the entire movie, like the whole project. So I kept on shooting at him. I legit saw times when my arrows went through him and he took no damage, and other times when I wasn't even shooting and he took damage. I don't get this boss. We've been fighting him for about 6 days now. He's still at full health. He'll be at full health at day 100. I really and truly don't want to cheat, but I don't see myself winning this any other way. I think the fair outcome to this is that I drop any rewards he gives me, I don't loot anything from any new chest or whatever for the next 10 days, and I have to go fight the concierge at the Black Bridge again, just to make up for this. Because I've been going basically blind in this entire mod pack and having a blast. So I think this is the best way to save the movie. I'm truly sorry, but I just don't see how else to do this. I'll either die with any other strategy and will not make any progress on the mod pack, or I just keep repeating the current strategy and we won't make any progress in the mod pack. So, with a heavy heart, I opened up LAN and went into creative mode. I flew after the Night Lich in. Yep, if I could use my sword on him, it would have been a fun fight maybe. He was dying pretty fast to my sword. I feel awful about having to cheat, but I really hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Here's all the items I would have gotten if I didn't cheat. So I dropped them all into this corner and then went to the Waystone to teleport home. I got organized and then luckily could repair all of my armor. I brought the Black Bridge rune so we could teleport right to the Concierge Knight, and well, upon arriving there, we, little oopsie poopsie mistake. We need a Concierge respawn rune, which doesn't look too difficult to craft luckily. So I headed home and began to grab all the items and had to hunt around for some flint. Kind of surprised how I don't have any of that. But I managed to get every single item needed to craft that Concierge respawn rune, except for the infected flesh. The one item that I got hundreds of because so many mobs drop it, yeah, didn't keep any of it because of the other loot I was carrying and kind of figured I'd never need it. Big oopsie mistake on my part. So ran to the Black Bridge, went backwards to the castle area part, totally meant to fall here and didn't fall accidentally through this one single hole that was so easy to dodge, and call myself the stupidest man alive, and then teleport to the beginning of this spot and then call myself the smartest man alive for saving myself like 3 minutes of running, and then finally made it to the forest area. I believe this is the only spot where I have enemies left, and very, very sadly for this dungeon, enemies don't respawn. Or at least I don't know how to make them respawn. So I'm blindly running around everywhere trying to find any enemy I can to farm some infected flesh. I tried out that one elite archer enemy, but sadly he doesn't drop infected flesh, or the 2 times I farmed him, he didn't drop it. But I just kept running around trying to find some enemies, which I think near the beginning and then to the sides, there's some enemies there that I didn't say hi to before. I was finding some stragglers around the buildings, but then in the distance, I saw some enemies just in the open. So I got to thinking, maybe this dimension isn't so narrow and tiny. So I ran over there, stole 2 statues because I want these, and then came upon this one building. This one is really nice. All of the enemy spawns were still here, so I need to get to 16 infected flesh. Today, this building got me to 12, so this is looking really, really good for us. And I was only in the beginning area of it. There's still a downstairs to this place, and I can go through the wall, which I did today and fought some more enemies. At the very least, if they don't drop anything, it's not really a problem because I'm gaining experience for new skills, but also for enchanting and healing stuff, which I think after the concierge, we'll work on getting mending and on breaking 3 for all of my stuff. Really don't want to lose any of my good items. Anyways, I kept on exploring and climbing places and fighting enemies, and then finally, at the end of the day, I got more than 16 infected flesh. We can now go to our punishment for the creative mode crime. One issue though, I don't know where the main area is. I think it's in this direction, but we'll find out soon. And soon is right now. I was right on the direction and made my way back to the Ramparts portal. Then went straight back to the overworld, then turned around and went right back to the Black Bridge. But there's no crafter cell here, so I turned around and went back to the Ramparts and found the cell thingy. So with this is how you craft items for the prison dimension. And at first, I thought I got scammed because it took all the items to make the concierge respawn rune, but didn't give me it. That was until I left that menu and the item was just sitting right in front of me. Now, we can fight the concierge. So, my damage this time around, insanely nice and disgusting. But I was rusty and the beginning was a bit of a mess. Once I got used to his attacks, this fight was just crazy easy and fun. I was actually enjoying myself and this was a good little challenge. It was easily possible for me to die, but the boss could also actually die, so I really enjoyed this. I got his health down to 74, and then in a single hit, got him to 6. I'm just going to assume I'm always hitting a crit at the end of these bosses' healths, and then I won. Part of my creative mode deal completed. The other one is just to make it to day 93 without looting new chests. I went back to the overworld and night was approaching. I got organized and then headed out. I wanted to fight some more mobs for some more experience, but I also wanted to see if I could find another chupacabra. I really want to tame a drake still, but then I found this phoenix-looking bird and got sidetracked. I managed to pick it up and place it in my house because I know I can tame this mount. I just don't know how. I spent the rest of the night running around fighting, but I never found a chupacabra. Allegedly, these guys travel and live in packs, and I'm calling Huaktui on that. They're very rare and solo. So I want those Unbreaking 3 and Mending Book trades with the villagers. But I need a spot for them, and I really don't want to hear them throughout the day when I'm in the house. So I went around and gathered everything I need to trade with them and to get those books. And then I started to smelt some sand for glass and collected some of those sakura trees around the house while replanting all of the trees I cut down so we can keep this area beautiful and sustainable. I know, king stuff. And then got to building. I didn't go crazy for them either, just made a very simple wooden shack and pre-placed the blocks to keep them in place. And now we just need to go get those villagers. So luckily there's a village really close to my house. Just 400 blocks away. I headed over and then I remembered there's the circus and they have alcohol there. And what would be funnier than making some drunk alcoholic sell me specific books? So I went over and went inside, saw this sick thing on the table. Didn't know it was chill like that. And then the legit worst thing to happen happened. I can't pick up villagers. I completely forgot that I can't carry villagers as I tried to carry, I believe his name was Earl, like 70 days ago near my house. I can't just make this villager trading place in a single day. No. Now it's going to be crazy difficult. And worst of all, there's a giant river between my house and this location. So I went around the village area and collected some trees so I can make a slab bridge to my house. Of course, I can just build a villager trading place here, but I'm stubborn and shut up. Plus, I don't want to run all this distance to get books in the future. I'd rather waste over an hour of my life moving 2 villagers to my house instead of being smart and making it here in the village. So I got to work and started placing down the slab bridge. With the bridge finished in the morning, it was time. It's time to go deal with the monster. The scariest, most traumatizing thing a human would ever have to deal with, a villager. And our villager is named Kira. I personally would have went with stupid doo-doo head with everything that's about to occur. So, in the beginning, it was going nicely. That was until we reached the bridge, and then stupid over here wanted to go to this island. Like, why? There's a job block right in front of you. Kira, why are you going over there? Kira, stop that. Oh, is it because of the barrel that I technically can loot because it isn't a chest, but I won't because I'm not that evil? Fine, I'll break it. Okay, now Kira is coming across. Nice and fast. It's like I'm handling Michael Phelps over here. Come along now, Mr. Biden. Okay, why won't you walk forward? Why won't you move to the lectern literally in front of you? Oh, is it because you wanted a job so badly you wouldn't move till the job literally touched you? Okay, at least now we're moving. And we were moving fine. That was until the sun started to set. So, instead of walking to my house that has a bed like 90 blocks from us, Kira over here decided it would be smart to just walk backwards to the village that's around 300 blocks from us. Smart! But then this morning, we kind of just went on a nice walk. Kira understood the assignment, maybe. We were walking for a bit, but then she stopped, so then I had to put down the lecterns again, and I won't lie, I felt like a parent just begging their child to get a job, man. It was kind of magical just watching my child walk more and more towards a job and their future. Then we entered my house. Firstly, hate you, mod pack. First, you don't let me pick up villagers. Fine, whatever. But now you don't let me use boats to move them? That's genuinely stupid. There's no reason to not allow this. Anyways, okay, so now I don't need you to have that smithing job or the grindstone, stone cutter, composter, and I really don't need you to go on my roof for the blast furnace that are inside of the house. So once all of those were gone, okay, good. Kira is back to going for the lectern. Then it was getting Kira inside of the future trading house spot, which wasn't too bad. It was just trying to lock her into the spot, which she showed me how smart she is by constantly getting out of the hole I was making and moving around the entire building. With a bit of the water bucket and shrinking the hole with dirt strategy though, I finally got her into the spot. Thank heavens. And I began refreshing the trades, which this might take even longer because of the amount of modded enchantments. Going to be tough to get the Unbreaking 3 and Mending trade. Also, Kira is giving me trades for a lot cheaper for some reason. Also, why is the Phoenix outside? No, the Phoenix, get back in the house. So I chased her down and luckily wasn't tough. I forgot to close the door when moving Kira out of there. Oopsies. I got to trading in the morning, and this honestly wasn't bad. Getting Mending is pretty easy and a common trade. Unbreaking 3 is going to be the problem. But I got Mending for a 6 emerald trade and figured, hey, why not just get all the Mending books that I'll need? I don't have an emerald trade right now, so I might as well buy 8 Mending books while they're dirt cheap, so I don't need to go get more emeralds in the future. With Kira done, I took the lectern, and now it's time for number 2. No, not to take a number 2, but to get a second villager. And this one might be tricky. So, there's no close villager like Kira was. And for some reason, everyone is in the town center. But I really don't believe that you can't put villagers in a boat. So, I got the boat out and, well, you can actually put villagers in boats. So, I don't know what was wrong with Kira, but Willia actually lets me move her with a boat. And I'll happily take the fastest and most painless route of moving villagers. So, I got to the bridge and went to sleep so we don't have to deal with any monsters. So I don't know what was going on with my backpack in the morning, but I could place down endless beds, but also couldn't pick my backpack up. I thought I lost it and would have to make a new one, but the game stopped teasing me and let me put it on. So I got Willia as close as I could to the house on the boat and then used the lecterns to get her closer to the house. Really easy time. She's so much nicer than Kira. Then I got her back into a boat, and it seems you can't put villagers who you gave a job to into a boat, but regular villagers can get into a boat. I don't really know. Really weird stuff. I then traveled the rest of the way with Willia in the boat and then made this dirt wall so she couldn't run. Now, the fun begins. I don't know why, but villagers are just really smart at getting out of traps you make, but are really silly and dumb with everything else in the game. It's kind of impressive. After a long fought battle of trying to get Willia into the trading spot and constantly jumping out, she's finally locked in. Now, hopefully, Unbreaking 3 doesn't take me a long time to get. And brother, did it not take a long time. This looks so fake, but I swear on your mom's life, it's legit. Immediately, I got a Unbreaking 2 trade for 1 emerald. I thought about it for a bit, and of course, I would love for it to be an Unbreaking 3 trade, especially when you get into the nerdy side of how much experience it takes to max enchant stuff and blah blah blah. But Unbreaking is stupid difficult to get as a trade, and 2 ain't bad. I can just combine it and get Unbreaking 3, which is what I decided would be the smartest thing to do. So I bought 16 Unbreaking 2 books, combined those, then combined the Mending with the Unbreaking 3 books. I used 1 on the sword because this is my baby and it's nearly broken, but didn't add any to my tools. I don't like these tools. They suck. And there's most likely better tools that are modded, so we should explore this mod pack some more. But then there's the armor. So I love the stats on my chest plate and really like my pants and boots, but I'm not sure if I should enchant any of them. I'm tempted to do the chest plate because the stats are so crazy high, but I looked through the armor list on Too Many Items mod and was just seeing if there's any armor I should go for. And technically, yes, there are better armors, but it doesn't look like I can craft them and have to find them. Or they take some special block to do some confusing magical thingy in crafting to make. So maybe diamond armor is the best for us. It's not like it's hard to get Mending and Unbreaking 3, so I might just slap them on. Also, just to say this so you know, now my god greatsword has sharpness 5, Unbreaking 3, and Mending. I'm genuinely starting to feel like Guts from Berserk. Next, I just put the enchanted books on my shield because I do like the stats on it and don't want to lose it. Then I put it on the chest plate and don't have enough experience to put it on the boots or leggings. And since my helmet is kind of poo-poo, I decided, hey, why not use all my diamonds to try and get a good diamond helmet? The first one I craft, it's legendary. I don't know what is going on, but I think I need to go buy a lottery ticket. My luck knows no bounds. But we need to go farming. And the fun kind of farming. Experience points farming. Before we head off, I made another waystone, which I luckily had read everything and then searched on the structure compass for the Lich prison, which there's one close to my house. So we'll just go for this one that's like 2,000 blocks away instead of the prison that's about 6,000 blocks away from the Lich Tower. So I headed off. And to have some fun, I took on this pillager camp, and it felt amazing to one-shot enemies again and just loot, which the 10 days are up. Back on day 93, I could loot chests, so we can have fun again. And then I came to this house that I'm honestly really tempted to steal and make in my own home. Would be kind of funny to do so. So I went to the house to check it out, and then he appeared. The stupid meanie doo-doo head butt case from the beginning of the movie that killed me when I was trying to get Betty and escape. The giant mutant skeleton. This butthole wanted round 2, but this time I'm crazy strong and he won't kill me. I swung a few times and boy do I hit like a freight train. I killed him and he mainly just dropped experience, but you can also weirdly collect his body? I thought he was going to respawn, but no, you can just collect his entire body. Not sure what you're supposed to do with this, but I'll hold on to it. Maybe you can craft it into a giant skeleton that'll be your companion and go around the world with you. Anyways, there was no entrance, so I broke through the iron bars, and well, this place is honestly pretty. It's really well built, and there's so much character and detail and depth. I'm honestly in love with this place and exploring all of it, and its amazing loot. It feels like this house is added to the mod pack for the player to take as their own home, which I'll happily do. But I ran out of torches at the end, and I really want to light up the entire insides for obvious reasons. So I went outside to chop some trees for some sticks so we can light up the house. So we don't have much time left, so I quickly went inside to light up the remaining rooms. That was until I could hear some walking. On the minimap, I can see there's a creeper in here, in this tight corridor, and his footsteps are loud. We're now in a horror game. I was careful with how fast I was moving, but I really didn't want to make it blow up and destroy this beautiful house. If that happens, I'm not taking this building as my second home. So I slowly moved through the house, sword in hand ready. Then I saw the booger. He moved through a tiny hallway into this dark room, and I wasn't going in. I ran back to the big table and waited for him. There he is, sprinting to me and then away from me, and I swung. Luckily, the house survived, but I ran out of torches again and I didn't finish lighting up this place. So in the future, I'll need to bring in a stack or more to hopefully light this all up. But anyways, we have a second prison to get to. So I got to running. There were some cool biomes and nice landscapes, but this one with the giant mushrooms that had lanterns on them was a little offsetting to me because who put these here? But past that, I found this jungle village and I decided to explore it. I would love a second waystone. Could put it in the second home and use the waystone I crafted for the prison to get out fast. But I don't think this village has one, sadly. But it does have these iron block drills under 2 houses, which I couldn't pass up on and stole. It's just too much iron to say no to. And then went on my way. The village was cool, but really bad loot. And then we made it. We made it to the prison, but I think it's in the sky as I can't see it in the ocean, but I'm not seeing it in the sky, so where is this sucker? I climbed up the sandy mountain and I still couldn't see it, but if I can see it on the minimap right now, that means it's up, not down. So I collected some bamboo and regular trees, turned it all into planks so I can build my way up to the supposed Lich prison, and then got to building. So this place is just super duper high up, and it makes sense once we get onto the island. So there's this giant skeleton, which I can only presume is the Lich, and also the teacher from this book. I read through it all, and a teacher and a student became corrupted by something. They became evil and started to kill people that trusted them to protect them. The student slowly became aware of what was going on and broke free. He used the bone staff, which we have the top part of it, to entrap the Lich into this ground. This corrupted the ground, and then the student lifted the island to the very top of the world, where we are. Explains why we're so high up. And I took the book. It makes me really want to complete the staff, but I don't know where or how to find the other 2 parts of the staff. And it probably wasn't smart, but I fell asleep up here. I looked around up here to see if I could find anything. Tried to mine the altar and a corrupted spot, but can't break anything with this pick. So I jumped off the island and decided to mine some coal. Weird thing I just noticed, I don't know what happened to my levels. I know I enchanted stuff, but I could have sworn I was level 7 when I enchanted everything I could. But I got to mining some coal, got 48 so I can make 3 stacks of torches. No way I don't have enough torches to light up this house now, and then got to sprinting. Try my best to make it back to home 2 today, so I can place down a waystone, and then I just need to show this. These weird stone brick buildings with a soul campfire in the center. I don't know why, but I figured something has to be up with these. I mined below the soul campfire, and yep, there's a chest. I've seen well over a dozen of these the past 99 days, and I never once thought to do this. I probably lost out on so much important loot. I got to running again after that sad realization and made it to home 2. Then I realized there's a prison dimension portal here too. I don't know what's up with my luck and having these spawn right next to my homes, but I'll take it. I saw a wandering trader next to my house and went over, but sadly, no llamas for me to steal some leads from. Now, with this many torches, I went around the entire house and added torches to it. Is it ugly? Probably, but I'd rather not have any mobs spawn around my house, especially since I didn't build this place. I don't know where there's any spots for them to spawn in, since, you know, I didn't spawn proof this build while building it because I didn't build this build. Luckily for the inside, no enemies spawned in, so I believe I went around everywhere and lit up everything. We should be completely safe in here, and then placed the waste jump beautifully in the center part of one of the bottom rooms and went back to home 1. Got organized and said hi to the phoenix that isn't mine yet, and then bred the cows. Then I remembered, hey, I haven't done our tradition in a long time. In a galaxy far away. There's no really nice points here to watch the sunset, so I teleported back to home 2, wasting more levels that I desperately need, and then went to the balcony and got positioned, and then, to bring back our tradition at the end of 100 Days movies, I watched the sunset. If you enjoyed this movie, it would mean a lot to me if you'd subscribe and leave a like for more. I hope you all enjoyed this movie and my journey. And if you'd like, I'll see you all in the 200 Days movie. See ya!